Tell me about your interaction with Indira Gandhi.
I'm wearing a particular sari to match the necklace that I had recently made. Her eyes are on my neck. She said, "What do you do?" I said, "I design jewelry. Did you do this?" And I said, "Yes." That's very beautiful. And she took 2 or 3 and she was there like a little girl.
To your romance with Shammi Kapoor, he used to call you GA.
Tried to say in many different languages how
That he loved you.
me, and I couldn't say it back to him.
All of us have this image of Shammi Kapoor, right? That he's this boisterous singing and, this Yahoo Shammi Kapoor.
He hated it. I am doing this because my producers are making me money. I am the only one this role seems to be fitting. So I have to do it for the audiences.
You designed the costumes or you bought the costumes for Bobby?
I just bought them for Bobby.
Knotted blouse of Dimple Kapadia's.
Yeah.
You bought that?
Yes. And the shorts, that polka dotted shirt. The shirt that Chintu was wearing on that bus and singing that lovely song.
And then Adil comes into your life.
Who's Adil?
When you spoke about...
the artist.
The artist, yeah. Who's Adil?
The reason is... No.
I love it. You were Raj Kapoor's Rakhi sister. That incident where he heard him in a conversation with Jesus Christ.
He was in distress most of the time. Bad news from the hospital he used to get.
His father, Prithvi
Yes.
Raj Kapoor, who was in hospital.
Yes. He leaned on the wall and put on the side and looked, and then he's got Jesus' picture in hand and he's abusing him.
Introduced Rekha to Mukesh Agarwal.
Yes, I introduced them on the phone. She doesn't even know what he looks like yet. And then she calls me and she says, "Can you see him standing next to me?" There's Amitabh Bachchan and she's her vision. So I'm saying, no, not really. Suddenly we read in the paper or the TV that they got married.
Were you surprised?
In shock.
The fateful night in 1999 when the Jessica Lal incident happened.
The movie called Nobody Killed Jessica Lal has spread such negative and wrong, false information, and it has affected us quite badly. And we are very thinly disguised, George, Malini and I in it, and coming out like villains.
Namaste, Jai Hind. You're watching or listening to another episode of the NI podcast with Smita Prakash. My guest today is Bina Ramani. It's her first podcast ever, and what a conversation. The next couple of hours are going to be riveting, I promise you that. Bina Ramani is an author and once known as a socialite too. She's an entrepreneur. She's known for pioneering the boutique culture in Delhi and transforming the Hauz Khas village. Bird in a Banyan Tree is her autobiography. Very few women from the subcontinent have had such a remarkable access to the rich and creative and powerful around the world. From Indira Gandhi to Yoko Ono to Jackie Onassis to Zubin Mehta, Shammi Kapoor, Richard Gere and so many more. Bina Ramani tells all in this podcast. There's also the uncomfortable episodes in her life with Chandraswami and with Jessica Lal murder case. She talks about all this in this podcast. Thank you, Bina, for being in the podcast. I'm so happy you're here. I think it's the first podcast you've ever done, right? Have you been on a podcast before?
No, not at all.
Not at all.
I turned down a lot I used to get offers for. I've been shy of this for many years. But I love your shows, and so I just loved the opportunity to be here with you. And also to reflect on my life, which I've stayed out of the media
for a long time.
Quite a long time, yes.
So what prompted you to come on the podcast? Why do you want to speak to the media now?
Well, God, so many years have gone by. Yeah, I've seen some very good shows that are very engaging and knowledgeable. And then I recently got to see our great retired chief of police,
Amod Kant.
Amod Kant was a great man for whom I had great admiration, because he was the first one. Now this goes back over 25 years, when the unfortunate tragedy of Jessica Lal happened at our restaurant. He was the first one. He was in line to become the chief commissioner of police in Delhi. So he immediately took over the case and caught every detail of every step of the way that happened from the night it happened onto maybe about 10 days or so only, because he got the whole truth from each and every. He got the entire minute-by-minute truth of what really happened that day.
So this was, in this book, I seriously recommend it to all viewers and listeners. Do buy this book. It's called Bird in a Banyan Tree, My Story by Bina Ramani. And it features right towards the end of the book when you call it The Fateful Night.
Yes.
In 1999,
Correct.
when the Jessica Lal incident happened at the Tampering court, and you say that that party, the invitations were restricted. All evenings there were restricted, and the only problem was that you didn't have a liquor license in that restaurant, and it was somewhere where you'd applied for a license. And it was in the final stages of having come there, but it didn't arrive. And then you talk about how there was a flurry of activity. Your husband then was leaving, and you came and you were fascinated by the guest lists who were there. There was Hollywood actor Steven Seagal, and then there were several other people who were there.
They were all unexpected and uninvited. They were that evening by chance. There was an economic forum meeting at Mandi House or somewhere on the opposite side of Delhi.
World Economic Forum.
Yes. And I had some friends who came on regular business visits from Bombay to Delhi, and we would meet and have dinner wherever, home or so. And two of them, one happened to be Rahul Bajaj. And one happened to be Suketu Shah of Mukund Steel, the son, and his wife. Very close friends of mine. So I didn't know they were in town. They had come to attend and Rajesh Shah was the brother of, he was the head of CUII.
Yeah,
it was
Confederation of Indian Industry.
So that was the final meeting, which I believe ended at 9:30. That's what Rahul told me. I was shocked when I saw a whole group around 10:30, 11. We were about to close. And a whole troop of them, I'd say maybe 15 to 20 of them walking in. I recognized some from their public known faces, some I didn't. But Rahul and Suketu were good friends. So then they told me the meeting just ended earlier and everybody said, what does one do in Delhi on a Thursday night? There's nothing happening in Delhi. But someone said, no. It was actually my daughter Malini's. It was not nothing to do with me, as a matter of fact, this whole thing. I was living in New York. I had a gallery there, with a partner, and I had just come back from New York a week before. I used to hear from Malini, Mommy, you won't believe our friends from school and college get together and on Thursday evenings. We can't afford the big Thursday night happens at the Hyatt Hotel. There's a club there.
Gins.
We can't afford the gins. And so we get together here. And I get dhaba to serve us fixed plates of dinner, and everybody brings their own wine, and we have the music and the place. So we've been having so much fun. They started with maybe 15, and another week, 20, 30. There had been 4 weeks. It was only 4 weeks old. Now I had arrived a week before, and in that last week she said, Mommy, your parents we were friends, parents of Malini, and Malini and her friends, parents were friends, like I had. So she said, last night your friends, their parents had also arrived. And they've loved it so much. So I called one or two of them that I was close to. They said, oh, your daughter Malini, what an amazing location. So weather's perfect. It was the month of March. And they had gotten into April now, and it was hot. We didn't have much funds. So there was no air conditioning indoors. It used to be only open during shopping hours for lunch. The place used to close at night. Only Thursday nights because of her friends. It was never intended or planned to be a club or party zone like that.
So basically it was a courtyard with a banyan tree in the center.
Banyan tree, and the main big section of the building was beautiful boutiques, galleries, etc. And across was a kind of a shed behind which we had a kitchen. And one day we thought we'll make it into a restaurant. So to go to the kitchen, you had to go through part of that shed. It was like a shed which we were planning to decorate and put air conditioning. The summer was coming. And you had to go through it to go to the kitchen. And there was a little bar counter for service from the kitchen. That's all. It had never been used.
So now late night, the party is almost ending. And
most of the people left. And then Malini's friends from Bombay had come and walked in with Steven Seagal. And we were at the rooftop, George. We were enjoying the Kutub in the last hours he was leaving. A few close friends were with us. And we were seeing the huge kerfuffle down on the road was all jammed with cars coming and going because one after the
People
other.
were leaving.
So some were leaving, the businessmen were leaving. This one was coming with about 8-10 friends. A bunch of Tibetans came with him too, all in. So we saw the problem downstairs and we came running down to see, and just by anyhow. So then we got Steven Seagal said, I'll rather come to the roof.
You say you heard a pop which sounded like a balloon bursting. Then another step, I heard another pop. And this time I saw Jessica, who was standing among men, now outside the bar, some 15 feet away, fall to the floor. Immediately, the blue kitchen door beside the counter swung open and a light-skinned, stocky young man burst out into the restaurant from behind the counter in front of me. But before that, your daughter came running and said, Mummy, some men have just walked into the restaurant. They're using foul language.
True.
Malini later said in her police statement that the man, who would later be identified as Siddharth Vashisht, aka Manu Sharma, had burst in with some friends, demanded some drinks. Sharma even offered 1,000 rupees for a drink. Malini explained that the place was shut and there was nothing left, and she couldn't, and he would not even get a sip for 1,000 rupees. He responded that he would give 1,000 rupees for a sip of her.
True.
Irritated, Malini left the restaurant, and then I met up with her.
Right outside, she's, guess what? I said, I saw from the glass window, from above the steps, I'm coming down. Yes, I'm going to get them out. So Malini was gone, and there are 3 steps to that, what we used to call the restaurant, but it hadn't yet functioned as one. That's it. One step, I hear the pop. Second step, I go, and I suddenly see like a tooth missing, among the 5 men, and the girl falls.
But you didn't actually see anybody shooting.
I didn't
Jessica.
see anyone shooting. Now, what had happened when Malini walked away, I've wished many times, I wish Jessica had also walked away, unfortunately. Maybe she knew some of them, I don't know, so she stayed. So he moved from the outside and went inside the counter thinking he'll find something to drink. I'm guessing. I wasn't there. I'm just telling you what all the real witnesses talked about. My electrician Shiv was also there for whatever, I don't know, shutting the lights. So, and Shayan Munshi and Manu Sharma were now inside the bar counter.
Shayan Munshi was bartending along with Jessica.
Yeah, but it had all closed. There was not really, she was right, there was not a drop of water left even. Party was long over. There were actually, there'd been such misconception. There were only about 25 people, all close friends, who were helping wrap up. Among them...
so Shayan Munshi said Jessica has been shot or someone...
So Shayan said, and then when the boys started to move away, everybody started walking on both sides of me, the 4-5 boys. And this one, I couldn't see, when the door flung open, he came out and they both pointed at him and said, he's the one who shot Jessica. So I stopped him. And Jessica's lying on the floor and I'm giving quick instructions now, like I've seen in the movies, instinct tells us the right things to do. So I'm shouting instructions, jaldi koi Jessica ko dekh lo, tablecloth lao jaldi, call the police, call the ambulance, call the police, call the doctors. Everybody was getting on their phones and calling. And I just stopped, blocked him. I didn't let him, the door was behind me.
There were so many men there.
There were 5 men.
No, what I mean to say is among the guests, among the
Not
cleaners.
one person came to help. Not
You're
one.
the only one who stood there trying to stop a person who, and you say he put a shiny object into his
when he
pocket.
came through the door, I have the vague recollection that I saw him go down because he picked up something. He may have been putting the gun back and it fell. But from coming, I saw him bending just as he stepped out the door and something shiny he put in his pocket. Now, when he kept saying no, and I'm hedging his way to step aside me.
And you say to
there was
him?
fear. I know he's got a pistol. And some instinct told me, I do recall him bending. So I saw that it was on this side. I came, okay, give me your pistol. When he kept saying no, then I challenged him. I said, give me your pistol. I know you put it there. He said, no, I didn't. I said, yes, you did. I was trying to scare him because I was afraid he could do the same to me. I didn't know who he was and why he had shot. And
You didn't run away when you saw a gunman.
No, it's my place. And he's just done something horrific. Why would I do... I do that all. I stop on the street and help people that are being menaced.
The reason I'm asking is because that's the natural instinct of people is to run away when they see a gunman, right?
There are also people who have the morality
confront.
to stop and help. I would do that for a stranger, which I have done many a time. Seen a woman being beaten by a man and crowd watching, and then I have just gone and broken it up many a time, and my driver would join me. He understood.
So
what
did
I
he
used to do.
push past you, or did he just slide past you?
He
What happened?
was, I knew that his heart, mind was, I was looking at his face, recalling short, stocky, fair, curly hair, and that I will not forget this, but I've got to get him to talk. I'm buying time. And I'm still shouting instructions. So he, at some point, I think it was a full 4 or 5 minutes. It was a long time. People were calling, and young people were leaving as walking. So he finally shoves me aside and runs past me. I chase after him. And midway toward my courtyard, it's a long run to get to the main gate, I managed to grab him by the shirt. He's wearing a T-shirt. I grab it. It's noticed by witnesses. Amod Kant gets to write all this account in the next few days when he's interviewing everybody. And however, so he wriggles free. Meanwhile, my husband's down, my driver's outside, and the guard is out. So I run after him till the gate. Then he runs to the right, which is the way into Meroli and the police station, etc., which we know very well because they've been very good caretakers for us. So George runs behind him into the dark. My driver runs behind him into the dark. It's about 1:15 or so at the time. That's how late it is. And that's it. By the time George makes it to the police station, all these accounts have been given on day one to the police. And then for the next 4 or 5 days, they never appeared in any interview anywhere. Nobody knows. He ran, got to the police station, told them there's been a shooting at my place. They know my place. We've had so many VIPs. We had Richard Gere. We had all kinds of people there. So a lot of the time the police was there helping us. They know all about us. So saying that there's been a hit and run accident. He's saying there's been a shooting. They didn't bother. And he lost Manu Sharma on the way, on some bike he took off. So he just ran back. It's about 2 kilometers from where we are.
So why didn't...
I was by then in the hospital. So meanwhile, as I have reached the gate, I run back now, and 2 of my boys have put her in a bed sheet, in a table cover, and now we are walking again past the same courtyard, and Malini and all her friends from Bombay are there, who had brought Steven Seagal, but Steven had left long ago. And she just fainted right there. She couldn't believe that. She thought Jessica was dead. She wasn't. So we take her. I'm yelling again, any cars left? Anybody, any driver want to go to... Meanwhile, Rohit Bal managed to get a hold of Ashlok Hospital, my doctor by chance, the hospital where I had had surgery before. And I got to speak to him and told him, please bring a stretcher
Alok
out.
Chopra, Dr. Alok Chopra.
Yeah. And the 2 brother doctors have been both very helpful. So I take them. So Malini's friend from Hong Kong happened to have a car and a driver. Surprisingly, by now all the cars at roads are empty. There's nothing except this car. And 1 or 2 cars of whatever, who are us or people like that. So I get into the car with Jiten, who's my assistant, who's still with us. We sit in the back seat. Head is with me, the feet are with him, and the driver is taking us. Within 12 minutes, we reached Ashlok Hospital at that time. And I'm trying to look at her face to see where she's got hit. And I see a blue mark. All these details were nobody knows about the truth. Everybody believes what the film had to say or what all the paid media. It was very active paid media of sensation that everybody followed in India, that we were the main butt of. But however, so she has blue, but no blood. The blood there was some blood here. And maybe she had fallen on this area, just a little bit of blood here, not much. So I'm looking, don't know why, and then by the time we arrived at the hospital, Jiten now comes and holds her, and when someone from the hospital is there, we get her on the stretcher. So he gets a bit of little blood. On that sheet also there was some, and on his shirt. It's important I tell you this. Now Alok has taken her into ICU, and we are sitting outside. Then Cheyenne has come following me, or maybe he was in the front seat. Perhaps we were all there. And that's when, under Amod Kant, we have a very good IO who comes and takes the full detail from Cheyenne and me. every detail that happened, exactly as it happened.
You're saying that hardly any blood was there.
No,
And
and
yet
then-
the media says that you
I know that I wiped the blood. There's no such thing.
instructed
That's
people, you instructed
Not
your
at all.
staff to wipe the blood next day.
I know.
So
No, there
if-
is no such thing. There's no question of blood. As it turns, it's no question of blood. I'm trying to save her life. I'm trying to grab this guy. I want control outside. That's happening outside to get all the wherewithal with the police. That's how it all came on time. Everybody was on the phones, but my instructions. Some were in utter shock who were helping. Others were running away. I'm the one who gives them the red bloodied sheet when whatever little blood is there, and Jitain takes off his shirt on which there's a bit of blood stain. It's with the police. Why did they not ever bring it up in any evidence, any court talk? None.
the sheet.
The sheet, the table cover, in which there was a bit of blood on that. The same blood, if they take the DNA or whatever, is on Jitain's shirt. He came away topless when he came back to Qutb Colonnade.
So
What happened to those blood paper things?
Huh.
Whatever was, now you have to know that it is assumed, obviously, and we saw it continue for several years, that the winds of change happened, the truth got buried more and more, the good top cop, Commissioner-in-Chief should have been there, instead got transferred of all states to Arunachal. You can guess the rest. When the slogan of "No one killed Jessica Lal" happened through the Tehelka newspaper, had actually come up with this phrase.
Tarun Tejpal.
Tarun Tejpal, that came as a result of the boys they were in jail, the 5 boys, and they had been acquitted. There was headline news one day, the boys had been acquitted. Jessica Lal. So the very next day, Tarun Tejpal's paper came up with this incredible headline, "Nobody killed Jessica Lal." In that weekend, I remember it was a Friday, I just landed in Goa, and I see the headline there, and my husband, my Malini, we are looking, and I'm saying to them, I have a feeling this is not going to be good for us. This cannot go down, cannot be digested by India. It cannot. There will be truth eventually. And so sure enough, in those 2 days, I think 1 million SMSs went forward. And then there was a plea to
reopen the case.
To reopen the case.
Okay.
And then it went to High Court, and there Justice R.S. Sodhi was his name. He did the most incredible research. He went right down to the bottom of the very first hearing that had happened with the first investigations that were buried now. All our original testimonies were all buried in the bottom somewhere, I don't know where, wherever. Then those series of other fake cases kept going, from which they managed to acquit the boys. So when he came up and did thorough investigation, I believe under shut doors, I heard things later, how thoroughly he got it, and he got the total truth, and he was in complete shock. Where he clearly spells out, and here's a shocking part was, we lived with the truth, we knew what had happened, we knew what our role was, what we had done to help, and it was completely subverted. I just believed there would be justice one day. I just believed in that, but I was ready to take on they put me in jail to seal my...
And they put you in jail for what? For liquor license, not having a liquor license?
No. Liquor license was it was a 600 rupee fine in the first month, right away. This is now we're talking the 5th or 6th year.
So there's also, Rani Jethmalani helps you get a bail, and her father then fights the case for the opposition.
For the money, yeah.
Okay. So now explain to me why did, first you go into police custody, then you go into jail, Tihar. So why did
it was my reputation before, no, it's quite simple. Before the case was to open in High Court, they did this thorough, the SIT, KK Paul comes in at that time.
Special investigation.
And he told to do the special investigation, and in that, they lay the traps just where they want. Of course, first they called us and threatened us with passports and things like that. We were getting anonymous calls. I was getting most of them to be...
You're not an Indian passport holder?
No, none of us is.
Not
We're all
you,
OCI.
not
No.
George, your husband, and Malini?
Malini, no. My children were born there. I had a life in
New York.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're
and
not.
London before that, yeah.
Okay, so you have passports of different countries. You're UK citizen or
UK and well, he's American and
George is
George is
Canadian.
Canadian. But they're
Okay.
all, we're all Commonwealth countries, and we're all, our souls are more India than most Indian people.
Sure.
Anyhow,
So
whatever the
they
case.
tell you that your stay in India is under jeopardy. What do they say to you? Or you can't leave India?
For no reason at all. They just took away our passports. No, there was no reason. We'd done nothing to prove nothing. The foreign passports were like, oh, dread, we're just like criminals. It's like terrorists. They took it away, and we couldn't go. I had to go to a very important wedding of my brother's daughter that I had planned in Phuket. They made sure that they didn't get. And then my brothers, my husband's brother died of a stroke. A younger brother, he wanted to go there to the funeral, and it was his only brother. They would not let him go. So we did the memorial here, and then by the time they gave him his passport, whenever 2-3 years later, that made a big headline that the passport had been all torn, eaten up by rats. They were very funny headlines. People had, who took my cheese, kind of, who took my passport pages. So that, I mean, they did very embarrassing things in the face of the country they saw, but the country was loving sensation.
Why?
Well, you guess why? Because most people love sensation. You go to a party in Delhi, instead of talking about a tragedy that's happening or some good news somewhere, they say, guess what? Have you heard? And then it's some bizarre story added with mirch, masala,
Masala.
mirch.
But you were the toast of town always.
I was. That's what happens. My friends in Bangalore, Bombay, Calcutta say, in our city, this would never happen. It's only Delhi. They are just so negative, and they are such hypocrites. It is true. We saw it in spades like nobody else could have.
I remember every single day you were in newspapers.
Every
your
day because
parties, your page 3 parties. You were there.
We couldn't leave from those early years. I was
And
the
you
leader.
were on TV.
I really, from childhood, from a large, I'm the last of 12 children and 9 that survived. All of us we celebrate life every day. Now, my brothers, we're now 8. I'm the youngest, and I'm 82. So my eldest brother is going to be 100 in a couple of years. But we're all over the world. We are. It is the most important day of the week is our Sunday afternoon when we all link up on Zoom chat and we talk like we are just in an embrace away.
I'm going to get to your family because
so many. Father always wanted us to be able to serve. There were kirtans in our home, and we'd be making and serving langar, or there'd be parties, lavish parties among our Sindhi community in London, and we all had to try and be the best. And so we learned the full circle. That's how we sisters were all brought up. I am still that.
I'm going to get to your family because that a lot of what happened in your life were decisions taken because you're part of this very close-knit family of yours. You're getting emotional about this. Let's deal with this thing, and then we'll come to the rest of your life. I understand that. I only want to clear this part of the Jessica Lal case so that our viewers and listeners know what happened then about the media trial that you had to undergo, and it kind of undid all the stuff that had happened in your life before that.
And when the good news came, it was just in one newspaper on one day. Nobody really got to read enough of it. But I just quickly want to allow me to
a few of them that you want to speak about, like Kushwant Singh, the Hindu newspaper.
Yes.
These are people who stood by you.
They stuck to the truth. I just wanted to say something that is important, because the movie called Nobody Killed Jessica Lal, they borrowed the title, it's a good title, has spread such negative and wrong, false information, and it has affected us quite badly the world over. The movie became a hit, again, because it's a sensation. And we are very thinly disguised, George, Malini and I in it, and coming out like villains. And we saw first-hand reactions in those days from lots of people. Strangers on the plane, strangers at a shop, or that kind of thing. Now, here's what happened. At some point during the case, actually, here's what happened. By now, Manu Sharma has been sentenced by the High Court based on the Ramani's testimony, and largely mine because of It just so happened that I was a bigger witness than most. My book has been released, and the book came later. Sorry, the sentence has been given, life sentence. He's in jail for which lasted 18 years, whatever the case. My lawyer saw in one of the newspapers and called me and said, there's a movie being made on Jessica Lal. I just saw in today's paper. I think it might be a good idea for you to call. This might be a good way to bring out the truth, finally, and let the world know the real story. Why don't you call filmmakers? And she found me the number of the director whose name had been mentioned in the article. And his name was Raj Gupta. I think Mr. Gupta was the last name. So I called him and said, very happy to hear that you're doing this film. And I'm Bina Ramani, the family that was really the spine of the whole story. So we would love to help you. You'll be able to get all the first-hand true information. Before I could finish saying that, Smita, he had hung up the phone.
He said, don't talk to me. I have nothing to do with the script.
Yeah.
I've only been hired as a director. Speak to the producer.
Correct. Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah, correct. This is what he
says,
said.
And then you say, I felt a familiar shudder again. My intuition told me there was danger lurking.
That's true, and I was right.
That it would
By
be...
danger lurking, the whole world was leading our lives. We lost who we were. The strength and the support from my family and the few close friends. Without that, I don't know what we would have done. And Malini was affected really badly. If it hadn't been for some of her friends, and particularly Tarun Tahiliani, who was there every day, he would even sometimes massage her feet, because she was just, she was very badly affected. And when she's taken now to a very good spiritual path, it resulted in some good things. And
it
George
was life-altering for her, right?
Totally.
She was this, the belle of the ball everywhere, that she would be there.
True.
And as a mother, how do you feel about that? Like, to see that your daughter has never been the same after that.
No. I thank God for the daughter I have. She sometimes used to tell me, Mommy, when she was starting on the yoga path, Mommy, do you know why I never married? And I had to have children? Because I can't imagine having a daughter like me. I kept you awake. When I was young, I was giving you such a hard time. And I realized, and he used to say sometimes, Mommy, I didn't sleep the whole night. I'm out anywhere. Don't come home late. What are you partying? There's the whole world. It's on our school kids. She said, I know what I put you through and all that, but she's on such a good path.
No, but when she would come to the jail, Tihar.
They were heartbroken, all of them. Yes, they would come meet me and bring me
You've
food.
written about that, and it's kind of, nobody imagined Bina Ramani in jail. You imagine a Bina Ramani in Khas village, in Qutub Colonnade,
I've done the full rounds.
And in New York, in London,
right. In all
in
the
Bombay,
of the world, yes.
With Bollywood
in space,
celebs.
I did it all.
With all that, but
Hollywood,
to think
Bollywood,
that
all.
you would be in jail without even your asthma medicines.
True.
You talk about that.
I have to ask for that.
And you didn't even have a blanket, some jute thing that you write about.
And a nice mate or someone who came and gave me that, and a toothbrush and a toothpaste. But I tell you, my days in Tihar jail, I'd love to share this with everybody. After the 7-8 days in Hell's Hole, which is police custody, it's a terrible, terrible thing. It is a cell of the worst kind, and you are treated all day in a police office as if you're a piece of furniture. You don't exist. And then they be talking about you. They be saying anything. It doesn't matter. You're a nothing. And it was. But I managed to just keep my composure. I was in meditation right through. I am a follower of Guru Nanak fiercely. Then when it came out to being taken further, they got nothing out of it. They made a forgery case against me from British law. There is forgery case you are declared guilty without trial. So they used that from somewhere, and then were faking it, making me write newspaper columns, repeat from newspapers right here, and where it was going, what was just to show the world. That's on pretext of that, 8 days in police custody and 4 days in Tihar jail.
But you say that there was, you just found one night when you couldn't sleep, and then you found God in a
I
way.
prayed to Guru Nanak. I said, the very first day when it got dark, I said, you have brought me here. I know you have brought me here for a mission. And please reveal that mission. I'm ready for it. We've been through all of this. There has to be a reason. So, and I said, please be with me. Don't leave my space. And I tell you that those 4 days were the most spiritual. I was on such a high.
And it rained.
And it rained that morning. So give me a signal, I said that first night. I want a signal that you are here watching over me. And it just rained like crazy. And it was so fresh. And your door doesn't shut, your bars. And that cool earth and the sound of the rain, it was like unlimited embraces from Guru Nanak. I felt so good. I feel so emotional right now.
Yeah.
It was very special. So I look back, and it's another experience in my life. I mean, I must have deserved it from some past life, that awful police thing. Jail, I really don't want to lose that. I would do it again because it was too precious. I had no appetite. They would bring ye langar karke soch ke kha lo. I was just fulfilled in total in every way. It's great.
And you say that it was done to break your spirit.
Break my spirit? No. To give me a bad reputation for the High Court hearing. That she's got a bad character. She's fraud. She's a fraud. She writes forged documents or whatever it is that they could come up with nothing else to slur my name. Yes.
But you identified the killers, and then you muttered something, which was said that she's confused and she can't.
I have to tell you,
because he looked different. He had a beard.
The threats had come. There were different people calling voices and hanging up. Yeah, I was terrified. There's no question. Not just there, not just then. I was living in a state of. It was an everyday thing. Trying to make Malini feel better was my number one priority, and I didn't know how long it would last. I just just comatose. Literally, didn't want to eat, drink, just be left alone in bed over and over and over, night after night. We all braved up to be there that time. I just felt that I could not hold my. I just felt like I'm the head of the family. He's a foreigner. My husband couldn't deal with what was going on. And I was like holding back, a breakdown, living on that edge constantly for quite a while. So that day in court, and there were other days, I have to say it was like treading on eggshells and thinking you could break and lose hold of your mind. So yes, I recognized him. He looked he was high. So the judge had to tell him to step out. There was
a man in front of him.
In front of him, yeah. He was in the back.
And he stepped aside. You identified him and you said he looks different.
He looks different, but he's touched some.
And Jethmalani
used it against me.
Used it that you are not sure. Then there was Ariman Sundaram, who was also there in your defense team.
He was the hero.
He was in your defense team.
Absolutely.
And he defended your... okay.
He knew. They both knew the truth. You won't believe this. The very first night it happened, I called Rani Jethmalani. And I went to their home. They were having dinner. George and I went. And he said, don't worry. Come on. We'll settle. We'll handle it all. Let's tell the whole story. Don't worry. It was one day after the media. Maybe it was the next day. Yeah, media had broken. She wiped the bloodstain. Could have happened. I don't remember how many days it took to...
But you told Ram Jethmalani your entire story.
I mean, just little bit, because he didn't want to hear it just then when he was.
He had not yet been appointed as lawyer.
No, the appointing came much later.
Much later.
He was with us for quite a bit.
And then he switched.
He switched. His son once told me in Goa in those days. He said, I really hang my head at I'm quoting him because this is from him.
Okay, so now Manu Sharma gets
he said, Rani and I are very embarrassed with their dad's choice.
You knew so many important people, Bina. What happened
We
then?
are too weak. You don't understand what happens to you. You've not been in that position. You feel like you're being battered. You're just being battered. There's not one person around in your world where you've been so social is saying anything good about you.
Why?
That's how Delhi society is so fickle. That's really all very fickle. We learned, my friends today are less than in one hand, and they are all gems. My friends now are the angels that have sifted out. They went through the biggest test. This is what. Please see it from that point of view.
You had, the who's who coming, and then
who's who coming, yeah,
and they were there in the good times, but in the bad times they dumped, which is what I guess society is all about.
I see it very clearly now. On rare occasions do I go out. I don't go to, I'll go to a book launch or a concert. I love music, of classical type, whatever, and that kind of thing. I go, and I see it's like an antenna alive in my head. Some of those, they have, it's visible. The people, what I hate to use the word fake or false, but I mean that's what they are. They give you that look and the smile that is fake, and they want to come close to you. They want to know Bina. They want to be endeared. I just give a smile and very gently move away the other. I just
and yet they are the same people who would run a mile on seeing you during those trial
days. Yeah. Oh, then that happened quite a few times.
And those who stood by you were a few people. Would you like to name them? Nafiza Ali was there.
Very much
Tavleen, Kushwant Singh.
Kushwant Singh.
Tarun Tejpal.
Bhaichand Patel got given full marks. And they had to wrestle their way to get to my home. I lived in a semi-basement kind of a thing, 3 steps down. And they're all outside, the media and the cops. You really had to be brave to come. And then Richard Holker, I call them all my hero soldiers. And I'm going to tell you something very interesting. I had Richard Holker as a friend, his wife. We did a lot of fundraising for street children's education. We're part of a whole thing that I've started lots of sort of social activism.
Yeah, it's there in the
one
book.
Of them is Pari and many others. Okay, so anyhow, he lives in Defence Colony, Richard Holker. And next to his the wall house is another person who I also know, but they don't know each other, is Pamela Rooks. Okay. I see them separately. Sometimes they may be at a party together, but they never really don't know each other. Now, during these Jessica Lal bats that were flying out, they're at a party, that Delhi society who decides criminal sentences for whoever for the night they wish to talk. So that particular evening, like most evenings of the time, every drawing room, the hottest subject was Bina Ramani, and they felt they had control over Bina Ramani, who was doing all the new things, and we couldn't catch up. But now we can bring her down. I mean, that psychologically happens all over the world. However, that evening, about 20 people were throwing brickbats at Bina Ramani again. Oh, the whole Ramani family, whichever. And at some point, there's one person who's defending me, a man, who happens to be Richard Holker. And at the other end, there's one other person only who's also defending me, which is Pamela Rooks. They don't know each other.
Okay.
And they are both being slammed. I mean, they're abused for being so stupid. Why can't they see what Bina Ramani really is? And she's all negative. And this goes on for a while. In the end, they start to talk to each other. Party ends. She gets up to go early. She can't take it anymore. And he follows her. He said, this is ridiculous. I can't believe. And both of them knew us separately for years. So they go on, become friends. One drops the other one home and finds out that they are neighbors. And they ended up eventually in a fantastic romance.
Okay.
And unfortunately, she had an accident and died.
Director, trained to Pakistan and all that. Yeah.
But they used to come to Goa and stay with us. But that's an incredible, happy story that came out of this sleaze. What can I say?
Yeah.
But that life is like that. We can't try and change anybody. The world is choosing to be what they are. I just hope that our future world becomes a more honest world and with integrity. We don't have that in India.
What kind of pressure did it put on your marriage, on your relationship with the children, with your daughters, and the pressures of your family? Very well-known family, very much into business.
They could not live through it. They were in agony. And they wanted to come, and I was saying, no, please don't. I would tell George to tell them that. And then it just so happened that when you're such a large number, then you're closest to the nearest in age. So I was closest to Gulu. Gulu Lalwani and Bina Ramani were like, even when we were singing Gulu and Bina Lalwani, they'd do the right party, they'd be right, that sort of thing back then. So he was desperate to come. And I didn't want to, I just could not bear the thought of, I said, when everything's over, you come. He just decided he's going to come one day, and that was the day they brought me out of police custody. He was in touch actively with my sister, who's come to visit me today by chance. So he's brought to the court, and he sees me being brought by the two cops, that they, the two female cops as well in court. I arrive, I spot his face there, and I guess I can't believe that he made it, and what a time for him to see me. It was the worst moment. I came from the police station to be released, to say, okay, 8 days over, we found nothing. Instead, they got their way again, KK Paul against me, took me to Tihar for my brother. And then to relate it, he must have just died. We've never spoken about it. It's too painful till this day. But I know how he felt, and then they take you into this big cooling room, whatever, big huge shed, till this evening time for your bus to take you to Tihar. And there are some bars there where you can look out. Family brings you things. So Malini, my sister, George came there. No, George had to be in hiding most of the time. They were also trying to arrest him. But anyhow, he was there that day. And then Gulu started to cry, and I just could not. I had to be strong and let him know that God is doing this to me. Don't worry, I'm in good hands. We were very kind of strong about our religious beliefs.
Yeah. And the media, because that was when 24-hour news channels had just started.
True. That's what, and we had the best news. We were the best news. What can I tell you?
And
the headlines.
Do you think it's because also of that, and with the Jessica Lal incident, the whole page 3 culture died with that?
Yes.
It was at its zenith, and then it came crashing down when Qutub Colonnade collapsed and Tampering Court collapsed. It was the end of that page 3 culture.
Totally.
No more of those parties and things, because it was a shocker. And I think the entire grouping of those people, that also shattered.
It kind of broke down. It's true.
Yeah. Otherwise,
life changed in many directions.
That, and it never revived after that.
No, it's never been the same. That was another era.
Yeah.
It was a completely different era, that those who participated in that, many of them are in touch and very fine. They were a dignified.
But those parties were very hedonistic culture kind of a thing. So when this...
What do you mean by hedonistic? Well, we had music and
dance. Yes. I'm not talking specifically about yours, but when everybody was seeing that, for most Indians, that was something which was like unattainable, which is...
Delhiites, don't say Indians.
Delhiites.
Delhi, not so in Calcutta, Bombay at all, no.
So
they were all religious. I was too much
flowing wine, women dressed in attire which most women cannot go out in those clothes.
At my parties. No, not at all. We were a mature lot. We were mature.
Just the page
could have been.
You of
course
course
was a younger lot.
Very well dressed. Yes,
I've always been very elegantly, dignifiedly dressed, and the friends when we did parties, it was like that. Malini's age group of parties was the second set that had to move on. I mean,
sure, of course. I'm not being judgmental. What I'm saying
was a generation later.
That people,
that's when
it was like this voyeuristic thing, looking at those parties. For most people, not being part of that pretty people
or feeling
circle.
Included in that.
Yeah.
True.
So it was something which was aspirational to some, and for the others, probably vicious that, and seeing that happiness to see those people fall.
True.
Those who were watching those shows on television, reading about the fall of Bina Ramani, the fall of Malini Ramani, was that feeling that, serves them right.
Finally,
Finally.
Right. Yeah.
Not the rights and the wrong of it, or
true.
not it was that, since we can't get it, they are also not going to get it. It was some kind of that, right?
But you see, have you noticed now, I just thought of it now, we kind of happened to rule because I started the Qutub Colonnade and the
Khas
Village. they were the two main centers. There's been no such thing.
Sure.
And like anything we did, people kind of followed, or the kind of people that would come over, guests from different parts of the world. The guests, everybody loved meeting or seeing, etc. There is no such leader quality in society right now. There isn't. There was at the
But Bina,
time.
at that time, lots of people used to say that, the gentrification of that area, it's a village after all,
Yes,
Khas
it was a
village.
total village.
And all that, you got all the permits done because you had the contacts and there was like bending of laws for Bina Ramani. Is that true?
No, there's no bending of law. I didn't have to bend any law at all. We would, like in the Qutub Colonnade. In fact, that was my, once upon a time, the first thing I did in India was that.
Yeah.
After that, I got House Khas Village. And then later, I married George. I didn't know George at the time. When we married, we decided, why not? He's quitting his job in Canada. So we invested together and bought that building.
Then you even have in your picture, in your book, this picture of Raghuveer Singh, the former Chaudhry of
Yes.
House Khas.
He was wonderful.
Like,
Without him, this couldn't have happened. The
yeah.
House Khas story.
So suddenly just a little Lal Dora land
Yes.
in Delhi becomes this place to go to. And it's still there.
Still very much there.
And now suddenly on Instagram, after about 10 years, Bina Ramani is back on Instagram.
I know. I don't know why. It has organically happened. It amazed me. It was 3 times in a row. It just popped up. Some force from somewhere seems to have. I'm very happy. It shouldn't just disappear. It was very special.
Okay.
And I had... There was Hillary Clinton who came, the senator, Larry Pressler, who was very important to India at the time.
The Pressler Amendment guy.
Exactly. And he has written me an immortal, lovely letter that the House Khas village visit is the most shining example of how India is growing. I mean, he writes that there should be more like this all across the country. I mean, things, declarations of this kind were just very meaningful. I wasn't doing it. It was like next step. We got to grow.
Because
and all those senators'
that's
lives.
the story of your life.
That?
Being around very beautiful and successful people. You've always been surrounded by successful people. Reading about it was very interesting because you come from a very, very traditional family. They did not like the idea of, you hanging around with celebrities or film stars.
Not at all.
Right?
But they embraced our Raj Kapoor Association the first time into a public domain known thing. We were otherwise, the parents would have not wanted it that way. But he just took to my parents as his parents. And then he introduced us, me in particular. We got very
This was in London?
It was London when, back when his film Sangam was being finished. It was early 60s, something like that.
And then you come to Bombay.
And then we are there. They won't let us have it any other way. No home, Chembur was my home. And all the kids, we were all brothers and sisters. All the marriages, everything. And Mrs. Raj Kapoor decided in London, before I had been to India, it has been many years I had not been to India. It was a myth I longed to, So anyhow, she whispered one day to her husband's ear, as we were coming out, I was driving them from somewhere back home. And she whispered something into his ear, and he said, "Khabardar, fir aisi baat kariye." So then I got scared, and I asked her later, what were you saying to him? So she said, I was telling him, we have to get Bina for Shammi.
Shammi Kapoor.
He had just become widowed. And he was very close to Bhabiji. And she was his everything, his sister.
Bhabiji is Mrs. Raj Kapoor, Krishna Kapoor.
Yeah. She was everybody's Bhabiji. She was just an angel, gorgeous, fabulous human being. So I said, how can you say Shammi Kapoor? That was the first time I heard, and I thought, are you joking? My parents will have the same reaction. Don't do it. Don't. And I've never seen his movie. He's not my type.
And he's a father of 2 children.
He's father of 2 children on top of that.
And you're unmarried,
and
young.
He smokes and he drinks and all. That's a no.
Then what happened?
No, then she didn't stop at that. She continued, and she already talked to him about it. And then maybe it was a few months later that we used to write letters to each other, she and I, lots of letters. And she said, I'm going to make my dream come true and things like that.
Yeah. So you were Raj Kapoor's Rakhi sister. and so she's Bhabiji, and you say that in his house there used to be these parties where he would sit on the carpet and he'd have Lata Mangeshkar,
Yeah.
Zohra Sehgal
That used to be, yes, in his studio, the cottage.
in the cottage. So what was this cottage and home business? So there were times he
Yeah.
would not go back to the home; he would stay on in the cottage. You
No,
say
no,
that?
no, 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 I never knew of that. No,
You
not at
said
all.
that there was all of Raji's attendants would be on call, alert to every whim, provided maximum comfort and hospitality to the chosen guests. When Raji was in the mood, depending on his state of negotiations with his favorite Scotch whisky, we would be treated to rarefied hours of anecdotes.
Yes.
Cottage evenings also meant that Raji might not return home to Devnar that
He would,
night.
yeah, he would. That may be possible. There were times when he didn't come home. We all left. It was the RK studio, the famous studio where all these films were made, was 2 kilometers from their home. Many events would happen there, celebrations, etc. would happen there. But from the beginning, when they first brought me there, they took me there, Babiji, and I said, this is my sacred space. Only select few people come here. And then one other sacred place was up in the first floor where his last days with Nargis were there. They were very spiritual. So I wanted to see that too. And
What was
he
that?
kept. He was
A temple to
he was a very
Nargis?
passionate kind of a man with everything that he had done in his life.
Huh.
So there were various reasons. I don't know why this was very sacred for him. Maybe, and he was a very romantic man. He got deeply involved, and he could understand. He had seventh perception, not just sixth. He could foresee. He had vision very often of talking about what was possible in human beings, men and women that were creative. He would talk about, and I was not from this world at all. But when I met him, then I connected that he used to talk a lot about Rishikesh Mukherjee. That was the name, I think. Was he great? Was he a tall man? Very handsome,
Rishikesh
tall?
Mukherjee, yeah, reasonably, yes. He was a filmmaker.
Yes, he
Yeah.
was a filmmaker. Great,
Yes.
great films
Yes.
he made.
Yes.
He
Fabulous
had the
films.
greatest admiration, and he would talk about him a lot.
Okay, the different kinds of films.
Different
that
kind of
Rishi-
disciplines
Okay.
also he would talk about, and talk about their, like Zohra Sehgal. There was another lady called Leela. Something he had his father had a romance with Leela. Very beautiful, like Devika Rani type from that era.
Okay.
Maybe a little younger.
Huh.
And the things he said, I was young and child, but I saw my father's, that kind of, then he would describe the kind of romance and the depth and how they, and then how the husband saw it and supported it because he saw in it a truth. And then Chaiji, Papaji's wife, Babaji's mother, would also look the other way. And there were descriptions like you're watching a movie screen. I hadn't seen many Hindi movies in my life. The first Hindi one might have been Sangam.
Sangam.
We were not allowed to see movies.
Ah, okay. And here you were
could sneak
exposed
out
to
and see
these
in English.
parties, or you said that Dilip Kumar's sister Farida Khan
She was a good friend.
was
She
a
used to-
friend of yours.
Yeah, she used to describe me.
And
well.
then you say that you met the younger Bollywood crowd then, which was Vinod Khanna, Kabir Bedi, Protima Bedi, Persis Kambata, Simi Grewal. And Protima and Simi, some of these became your friends. You continued with this friendship.
Protima was like a soul sister. I feel I communicate with her. There's something very precious. She came from a very conservative Gupta family, I believe, from UP maybe or Rajasthan, I'm not sure. But something about her attracted me, and I don't know what. I had to learn things. Yeah.
And then there were others you met. You met the entire Kapoor family. Let me go into your romance with Shammi Kapoor a little bit. Was he that forbidden fruit which attracted you to him and him to you?
The truth is that I had already decided that it's not for me. I wasn't attracted to him like forbidden fruit because I immediately was drawn to him. I was not. I was the phobia of upsetting my family was the number one. You couldn't do anything to upset the family from childhood. It was you never questioned.
So you didn't allow yourself
No.
to fall in love with him
No.
initially?
So the very first time when I arrived in India, and Raji had never spoken to me about him, but I had heard his displeasure of it, and he didn't even want to bring the subject to me. It was an unacceptable thing. So it just so happened that every Christmas Eve in Bombay, traditionally Raji would take at this some particular hotel at the dining table, and they would celebrate Christmas Eve. And I just landed the day before Christmas Eve to Bombay, straight to the Chembur house. So I arrived at Babiji. We went a little late, and they were all seated. So and she had warned Shammi that you will see her on this day. I'll bring her for a while. I think Raj Kapoor had told her not to bring me. I think she wasn't supposed to. Whatever. She decides after. Let's do that. Besides, I had a cousin who had lived with me in London a lot, and she had invited me to dinner to her home. So I was to go there. So in any case, I came for a short while. So I go. I'm walking around there. He is at the end of one head of the table, Raj on the other side of the table. So I first greet Raj, and I'm introduced. I don't know any of them. And then he greets me, and he looks. I'm seeing he's looking straight into my eyes, as if he's trying to give a message. I don't know. So I just looked away, right away. I just glanced and I saw that he's trying to talk with his eyes. He's trying to say whatever. I don't know what he was reading too deeply into me. He had heard a lot. Maybe she had pushed it too much. I don't know. So then when we left, she said, Kya? I said, I'm too scared. No, it's not for me. Please, and don't promote this.
But he pursues you. And
the next meeting arranged was then Chembur in Juhu, was in Puthli Theatre somewhere. There, he was there alone with another friend or two, and my sister, immediately older, was my kind of guardian. And I used to call her a spy. She was my guardian. She knew.
But he used to call you GA.
And GA, he used to. He tried to say in many different languages how
that he loved
me, and I couldn't say it back to him.
Why
this
couldn't
you say?
You didn't fall in love with him?
Never once.
But you still loved him in a way.
Yes, I began to love him
Despite
very much.
getting married to somebody
Loved
else.
him very much. I still do. There's a special kind of love.
You've met him several times after that, after your marriage, and then your second marriage. You again met him.
He met George. They got on well, and he invited us over. And Neela.
So there's this enduring love. Is your love with
enduring love? Yeah, absolutely.
With the Shammi Kapoor, right?
Yes.
So you get married to this person, an arranged marriage, and as soon as he hears that you've got married, he finds another person and he gets married the day he thinks that you're coming to India.
True.
And he gets married in the same temple where he had said he would marry you.
Yes, correct. Where he had married Geeta.
Yeah, but that's correct. What Geeta Bali has passed away. Then he tells you that this is the date I'm going to get married to you.
2nd of Jan. I'm already gone to San Francisco.
And he finds...
and he had, Babiji told me that he was with his two best friends. They had gone hunting. And who were also by now very close to me. They all used to play beard, as you say. Sometimes we would meet.
And you say that...
he just stretched out on the plane and began to yell and scream. And he read it in the newspaper. Bina Lalwani weds Indira Ramani and whatever.
And he was heartbroken.
Just totally. He just went berserk completely. And in those days of 7 days, he had said, it's a sacred 7 days. We never drink. We're out there hunting tiger or whatever, wildlife. And so I don't know how he went completely.
But when you...
berserk, apparently.
You didn't break up with him because you weren't involved with him at that stage, but you knew he had proposed to you.
He was
already.
gone. Yeah, many a time he had talked about it.
But you never broke the news to him that you're getting married.
I had no idea, no. I didn't know. The shocking thing is, it is exactly a year, Christmas Eve. He has left on the jungles. I am introduced to a man called Indira Ramani by my Taya. Used to arrange everybody's marriages. He was a well-known Sindhi doctor. So my parents now, my sister had got married. Now they wanted to go back to London, which means take me. I didn't take any because I had not approved anybody for marriage and said, all right, well, what are we doing in Bombay? We don't have a home here, we go. So, or you have said no to all the other proposals, last one. That's what happened. And I didn't say yes or anything. I said no. No, but I mean, it was like a predestined thing. So what happens, and he's not my height. He's 10 years older. He's not somebody I would look like a match scene together with. But so we are made to see each other again. I mean, it's a stupid. I've done many stupid things in life.
You had Shammi Kapoor,
I
and
know.
you marry somebody who's so
No, so what happened?
unsuitable as
I
compared
know.
to Shammi Kapoor.
I just wanted my parents put so much pressure on me and their aunts and uncles. You know, they had put so much pressure.
And
to
you
them,
had no agency of your own to say no.
No, never. We could never question. Never could.
So there's this very orthodox Sikh family that you come from, where you cannot marry a Shammi Kapoor because one, Raji wouldn't approve. Raj Kapoor wouldn't
That
approve.
would be the one. And then there is a thing.
And there's this one paragraph which I found so fascinating, and all of us have this image of Shammi Kapoor, right? That he's this boisterous singing, and this Yahoo Shammi Kapoor.
He hated all that.
He hated that image.
He hated it. He built when we would meet in the night at my cousin's home staircase, and she had her boyfriend up on the roof, and he was even afraid to hold my hand. I was fine with holding hands with him. I mean, he was just treating me like some precious, I don't know what, you cannot touch sort of thing. But lots of poetic words and building up life ahead. And if he said, I am doing this because my producers are making me money. They're making money. And I'm the only one who this role seems to be fitting. So I have to do it for the audiences. And I'm signed one after the other, and all roles like this.
And he had this...
So I romance the heroines.
Thousands of women falling for him,
right,
and acting opposite this gorgeous looking women. And here he is pouring his heart out to you, asking you to marry him,
right,
and you dump him.
I went with a broken heart. I didn't. I guess what? Second was the day we were to marry, right? On the 2nd of this thing. And at the 25th, I'm introduced to Indira Ramani. I say, no, okay, one more time, meet him alone, but his parents say. And that kind of, it was the weirdest thing, which no other girl would, I don't know what it was. I always used to feel punished when I wanted to do things and parents would say no. It was understood that I couldn't have my way because I was a second generation child. They had grandchildren when I was born. I couldn't think like the rest of the family. So I nurtured my dreams quietly. Many rejections I got from things I wanted to do, be an architect, be a beautician, be whatever. Anything I'd ask would say, don't even think about it, marriage, whatever.
And I think I'm going to let people read the book to see the most, I think one of the most unromantic proposals of all times was when he proposed to you, Andy proposed to you.
He had a girlfriend in San Francisco, and he had come to attend his younger brother's wedding. So he tells me, you've come with wealth and grown up with luxury and all. I don't know any of that. I cannot offer. I'm just an Air India manager. 3 states of America and a small section, California and whatever, Nevada, etc. And I own nothing. It's a company flat. There's a car. There's a TV. I own the TV and the bookshelf, books.
And you said yes to that.
I began to feel so sorry. I don't
I'm
know
sorry,
what
I'm laughing,
stupid of
but
me.
I just find it incredible that somebody would not marry a Shammi Kapoor and marry...
I didn't dare allow myself to think that it could happen.
He says, you write here, he says, the flamboyant and boisterous lover boy with... because that's what my audience wants from me over and over again.
Yes, he used to say
He
that.
sighed in resignation. I really dislike that person. I'm completely the opposite in real life, but unfortunately, nobody gets to see that side of me. I love Western classical music. I read books on philosophy and history. I read biographies. Do you think my audience would believe that about me?
Yes,
Is that
true.
why he sought a relationship with you? Because he could be him?
Yes, he could be him, and I would absorb. I would embrace that. Yes, totally.
Yeah.
But I was thinking, how will I ever get past my parents? I can't even ask such a question. All my simple questions have been rejected. I used to think I'm not destined. But it was dream times when I would hear all these things. And on the phone, the long chats on the phone.
So before Andy comes in, there's also David of Faridkot who proposes to you.
There's Onkar of Apollo Tires.
Apollo Tires, right? Now these are all perfect matches.
Yeah, I know they were, but then I didn't like them. No, I didn't like Indira Ramani either, but him that night of this, like it was like a feeling sorry for someone. So should I rescue? It was. I mean, I think of it later. What the hell was I thinking?
So here's a film actor. Then
Yeah.
there is a royalty, somebody from a royal family, Faridkot royal family,
Yeah.
and there is an
I couldn't see myself with
industrialist.
him. Yeah.
And
then,
these are all
yeah.
highly successful. See, the reason I'm bringing this out is if anybody thinks that Bina Ramani is a gold digger,
No,
is
not.
not.
Oh no! Now I tell you the other reason why.
Because that is what was said about you in
Yeah,
those
yeah.
horrible
Did they
media
say gold digger?
trials.
I think I'm
that
the opposite.
you wanted that life and you chased that life.
I reject my family is so angry with me most of the time because they're ready to help me, but they want me to be. I have a variety of ways of living, a lap of luxury with fancy cars. I grew up at age 29, at 21. I had a Mercedes car, and I would be embarrassed to go around in it because I never wanted. There was too much wealth. I was growing up in London. London was still rising from the Second World
And
War, etc.
there was also the Binatone.
The Binatone, all
Please
of that.
tell
I
me
was
about that.
embarrassed. People would talk about Binatone. I never wanted to be. I am not that.
Your
at
name
all.
was on a product.
Yes, I like to see the fruit of my hard work. I don't want to be lavished with other people's wealth. And I just cannot. Yes, when I was in hospital for the 4 months and Medanta, I knew that it was going to be very difficult. I didn't have insurance and it was going to cost a packet. But before I could even think of it, they had already signed directly, my family, to spare no cost, etc. So I just walked away. But these kind of things they're constantly doing because if I knew then I would try and fight it. I just don't like taking. They know that. That's what... And he was the only one. I tell you, Faridkot was telling me about his 67 cars, and you'll have a different sari for each car to match, etc. And Onkar also kind of wanted to measure his wealth. I couldn't. And then Shammi was, Shammi was. I really loved him, and I love him more after seeing that when he did marry, after all, he did go into simplicity. He did quit.
Religion. He found a
Found
guru and
spiritual path on which he invited me, and I joined them one time, and I met that Guruji, and I was in my difficult years of marriage. I went through very difficult times, divorce and all of that took a long time. I was reading autobiography of Yogi 3-4 times, and a lot of other spiritual books of which he was aware. So we realized that we both. I was the one to blame, nothing to do with me. So we did have a chance to talk about it. I always, when I became stronger and independent, I think one of the reasons why I married Andy, deep down inside, I could smell independence, freedom. I craved freedom. And he was living in San Francisco. He looked like a very independent type. No man talks like that unless he's a modern thinker or whatever. I don't know what it was. I felt I will find myself. I've been cramped all my life. Here I'll be able to find who I really am. With Shammi Kapoor, yes, he was larger than life. I loved the idea. I was brought up to be a wife, and I knew I would be a wonderful wife, etc. But anyhow,
but
I did. I tell you, from Andy Ramani, I learned who I am. I had to go through a lot of hardships. At $3,000 was his salary, and between the rent and we had no money, and we had to live within a budget. And I never complained. It was fine. I found discount places to buy things that would see us through the month and all of that.
But you were deeply unhappy in that marriage.
Yes, I was. I had some happy times. I have 2 lovely daughters. There were some happy times, and we made friends of our generation and others, couples we had.
There were ups and downs, like in any marriage.
Largely downs.
And then Adil comes into your life.
Who's Adil?
When you spoke about...
the artist.
The artist, yeah. Who's Adil?
The reason is not...
I love it.
Love it more after the show.
Okay, so Adil comes into your life and you have this rollicking affair with Adil, right? Did it matter a lot at that time? And he doesn't know that you're having an affair with Adil.
No, he was pushing it. He was fed up with me. I wanted to love him. I was trying to fulfill, all the things that Shammi used to say to me. I had not heard from anybody. I was using them on Andy, trying to make him feel beloved. And I was a slave at look up recipes and have candlelight, beautiful dinner laid out for 2 minutes before he'd come home. But he would avoid coming home. He had broken a girlfriend's heart who was living there with him.
Yeah.
And so I suffered, prayed every night, played sad music. And I mean, my life, I didn't know anybody. I'd walk down the street in the daytime.
So you're hunting for that love.
Hunting for that love. I was pouring it to him so much that and I look back and I think he must have thought she's such a fake. He was a very realist.
With this Adil comes
During
everywhere.
marriage, we had no children.
Yeah.
He just, he was so much, he reminded me so much of Shammi Kapoor.
And
It
you were
scared
ready
me.
to leave
Again,
Andy.
same thing happened last minute. Last minute it was to happen.
And Adil was supposed to meet you in London, and then suddenly Andy
I go
calls
to
you.
London, yeah.
It was a trial separation, and
Yes.
you say that he wept on the phone and said, "Give me another chance," and you go back to your husband.
I'll be your Majnu. Never spoken language like that before. I didn't speak much Hindi that way. And
So-
do anything you say and all that. I was thinking, oh no, don't. I was looking at him. How you never say these things. I've never heard you like. I was feeling, wow, he's gone so low for me now. I mean, I'm so happy, but then I went home and whatever.
And you say that you could love
broke the heart so badly.
Adil, and at the same time, Andy is your husband, and there's this small place in your heart which still
possible.
is occupied by Shammi.
Yes.
And you say it's possible.
It's possible. You can be a multifaceted person. I am a total multifaceted person.
That's not facet. You're in love with three people,
Yes,
three
you
men.
can be for different reasons. They're compartmentalized.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll just
I
read
keep
out.
my-
You said, I now believed that it was perfectly possible to love several people simultaneously and keep the relationships neatly apart without hurting anyone, if it was sensibly and sensitively handled. How did you handle it sensibly and sensitively? By not telling the
Luckily,
other?
they were. My husband was there, but the ability of my husband's it not being difficult was that he had no interest in me. He was just, especially in the early time of my marriage, before the children were born, he just. I mean, we had one other Indian couple, best friends of his, who were watching what a struggle I am having in the marriage, and they knew Adil, and we had done evenings out together, and he'd be for dinner, and Andy would say, do you think, is he in love with you? How come he's talking like this? So the guest said, the doctor friend of ours, but can't you see? Are you blind? It's been going on. So he said, good for her. She'd get off my back. That was I used to do a lot for him and put "I love you" little message in his shoe, and then I'd help him put his tie on. Then I'd stick another little message there when he opens a tie. I mean, it was really I was in love with an image which I fitted Andy into for
And
2
he didn't.
years.
You said you were celibate for the first 3 months.
I was celibate for the first 3 months. Correct.
in your marriage. So to me,
it was a shock. I couldn't understand it then, but in hindsight, I realized that he was a man of the world, of his own world. He was inside of the travel industry, good at what he was doing, and suddenly he's lumped with a wife. He's gone to attend his brother's wedding, and he's had his joy with his girlfriend for the last 2-3 years. What does he do with it? I can see it from his point of view. He wasn't a larger or kind of had big major dreams. He was not that. I grew up with that.
okay, whatever he had, I'm trying to look at your mind, where you are
he
legally
treated me very narrow, with no patience.
you're legally married to one person.
Yes.
Emotionally, you are still connected with Shammi Kapoor, and in physical terms, you are attracted to Adil.
Yeah, it's a security. Knowing emotionally, it's a sense of security, I have to say, that there is this incredible feeling that I have. It's a sense of security is the right word I can think of. And I always was a romantic, was always completely
So
compressed.
you needed this 3 compartments.
Yeah, yes.
And you're saying it's like 3 desserts.
Yes,
You
exactly.
could-
You are right. Did I say that? It is
Yeah,
true.
you've
You're
written
right.
that. You said
Yes.
it's like loving 3 different desserts equally, or having 3 best friends,
Yes, and
or
3 different
favorite
flavors.
songs.
Absolutely, It's not vanilla, strawberry, and chocolate. It's 3 flavors of chocolate because I only like chocolate.
So monogamy is not something that you believe in.
No. I believe in monogamy. Hello, physically, yes. But
Physically.
we have the power of the mind
Okay.
and the soul.
But even physically, because you explain that these are man-made dogmas of staying in just one relation. You talk about how Krishna and
I have always
gopis.
questioned that. I've
Yeah.
been fascinated with that, and I'm learning now. In fact, I'm learning that a lot currently. I've never given up. That the Radha that Jai Radha, Re Radha, and she's actually the mistress. है ना? I mean, we say Radha Krishna, Hari, I'm not familiar with these
it's
terms.
firstly historically it seems there is no Radha, but mythologically.
But why
there
is it that every Hindu worshipper venerates Radha equally as much? Nobody knows his wife's names. Why is it? Because there's so many types of love. There's a fragrance of love, for lack of the right word, that you have so many different fragrances that can awaken you and empower you. It's like that. Different people, you have so many friends, different friends, and you love them for different reasons. You have that capacity in you. You know.
Do you think it's Raj Kapoor who instilled this
Yes.
definition of love in
Maybe
with
in
you?
my own, not that he gave it to me, it's
Sure.
awakening at all
Absorb
times.
that.
I wish now in my life, now I mean since about 15, 20 years, I've been questioning it, but I'm learning more each time. I wish he and I could sit across, and this would be an amazing subject. I wish Shammi would. He's extremely intelligent. In many ways, he's intellectual out of the 3. And
Because Raj Kapoor is known to have loved and never left many.
exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And that's
he's a
his
complete
wife.
romantic, more so than most actors. In fact, he was the real romantic. But he got passionate about some of the relationships that brought a lot of pain around, particularly that Vijayanti Mala episode, and so on. But he gets carried away. I suppose but I'm telling you that human beings have that capacity, the same depth, but of a different kind, for different reasons. I know them, but as much as I did,
And then you get into this creative aspect of your life.
Yes.
You start getting jobs, you start, meeting interesting people
Yes.
In New
And
York.
I start
Tell me-
developing new ideas. I cannot stop doing new ideas.
But
In depth.
so at that stage, you get strength and you get out of that, what should I say, some morally ambiguous life where definitions.
How do
and
you mean by
move
that?
In the sense that you're now decided, okay, I love this man, but I'm married to this man and it's fine by me and I'm going to carry on with my life.
Yeah, well, it's moral.
Because you didn't really have a career till then. You started off then, right?
I had a great career, at the Taj Group.
With the Taj
after I had
Group.
my children. After I had my children.
But that's later.
That didn't stop. By then, all the three had the compartments, or 3. Because by then, I'd experienced 3 different kinds of.
It's enhanced your personality, you
A
feel?
lot. I tell you, I sometimes, recently when I was in the Hauz Khas village, maybe 6 months ago, I took a picture as well. An urchin woman with light eyes was carrying a baby who may have been 9 months old. The baby's eyes were huge, babe. And there's chai wala there. So I was about to have chai, so I got chai made for her because I wanted her to linger with me. Because I fell in love with something about her. I was meeting her at the entry of Hauz Khas village just when I was departing from that stage. And that child's eyes were focused on me. I knew he was some connection to my soul. So I took the baby in my driver's. I said, I carried the baby, continued looking in my eyes, and I still, again, I'm in love with him. That memory, there was so much love that she almost couldn't, and I almost had tears because something connected me inside her. She could have been any sex, anything. It is a force. It was a force from within.
Who did you feel that connect with in
With
all the men in your
mother
life?
as well as with
no,
all
in
of
the
that.
men. That kind of love where it just like completely
have
obliterates yourself and you're one with that person. There's so many people who've come and gone in your life. Whom did
Believe
you
it or not, since I only saw Shammi before marriage, I didn't see him after marriage except at family weddings and all that. And then Shashi Kapoor would be our little beard. He would suddenly arrive with a glass of champagne and he'd say, look, under that tree over there, he's toasting to you. That's all. But so Shammi was the first one that I felt with. I have to tell you the truth, and when I think of those days, I loved him dearly, but with fear. I never could completely at the time. I'd longed to, but I was held back hugely. There was always fear. The Raj Kapoor fear I'd added, but I had my parents' fear already before. Now with then Andy, I was in love with the picture, and he knocked me out. He said, "This is rubbish." I mean, he was an intellectual man would do that. But years as went on, I really experienced some very loving times with him. There is no question about it. I did see that he was falling in love with me. It was, and I felt the flowering of a relationship. Then
Coming back to Raj Kapoor, you designed the costumes, or you bought the costumes for Bobby?
I just bought them for Bobby.
Bobby? Yeah?
In those days, we were poor. Andy Ramani had a job with Air India. We were in New York. We had moved. I had 2 little children. Raj Kapoor was broke. Mera Naam Joker had flopped badly. And now his father was sick with cancer at the Sloan Kettering. And Sloan Kettering is right midtown downtown. We were in the poorer side of town, which was 96th Street on the west side. And for Andy to get to office, he would have to take 2 buses. It was also midtown.
And Raj Kapoor also took buses.
So Raj Kapoor said, Andy has to go in the morning, we'll go later, you take me. So I said, we can take a cab. He said, nahin, I'm a cab. I don't know how long father will be here, but mehenga padega. He really exercised.
He ran out of money by then.
Yes, he had run out of money. So some money that the Hindujas had from Sangam that they owed him because he given Sangam rights worldwide to them and they didn't pay him completely. And that let him down very badly at this particular time. Anyhow, I was there a good 6 weeks or so. And so my dining space, I had 2 bedrooms, one for the 2 children and one for Andy and me. A little dining area, but no walls, just open
space. Okay.
Smaller than this. So
and you used to cook for him?
I cooked for him, yes, absolutely. And then sometimes he would there were 1 or 2 Indian dhabas as well. People. So on the bus, by the way, no, but here he would sleep on the mattress. He always slept on the
floor.
Yeah. So for those 6 weeks, he was there. My children, toddlers, we climb over him, and in the evening time, he loved being with the children and all that. Anyhow, that aside, on the bus we would take the crosstown bus, and then wait for the next bus to go downtown. We were uptown and west.
Explain to me that incident where you heard him. You heard him in a conversation with Jesus Christ.
Yes.
What is that?
So now he's
a Hindu, right?
He's a Hindu, yes.
He was a Hindu,
but you see, he believed in all religions. He also could talk about Islam. He was a man of, I'm telling you, incredible, multiple facets. So he would be. My husband used to keep him company and that sort of thing. He had Sai Baba's picture.
Yeah, Shirdi Sai Baba.
Yes, Shirdi Sai Baba there. They had taken me to Shirdi Sai Baba one time, Bhabiji, to make a wish. Anyhow, and he also had a little Ganeshji, small one. But he had bought a proper photograph of Jesus in a frame. And so he would sleep late at night and all. I had to get up for the children in the morning. Anyhow, this night he was yelling and all that. So I came out to see what was he doing. And he was in distress most of the time. Bad news from the hospital he used to get, and he was getting fed up with all that to add it up.
His father, Prithviraj Raj Kapoor, who was in hospital.
Yes.
Okay.
And he was not getting well in a hurry. So I leaned on the wall, put on the side, and looked, and then he's got Jesus' picture in hand, and he's abusing him, in Hindi, words of English makes it completely abusing him. So then I asked him, I've learned a lot. I've imbibed a lot of that. So I was just thinking, there's only Guru Nanak and that. Guru Nanak has come from all the other disciplines, the recent one it is. Anyhow, so he said, I love him. I've loved him. I've given my full love to him. And he has returned his love to me. How dare he let me down? And he was using abuse words. He said, if you don't talk to your God, no one's to listen to you. So
And then he made Bobby and he got success.
and he was already singing a particular song of Bobby. And when he was in a good mood, he said, Jhoot bole kawa kate. We have pictures around a pillar, and he's singing it. And we had learned to sing it. We didn't know the scene. So anyhow, there was a cheap store called Alexander's Children's Clothes.
Where you used to shop.
Where I shop for my children. So I thought, let me check this out. And really, for about $500, we got the entire Chintu's as well as Dimple's clothes.
Okay.
And they all did that little thing, tie knot. She has become such
The
a popular.
blouse, which was knotted blouse of Dimple Kapadia's.
Yeah.
You bought that?
Yes. And the shorts, that polka dotted shirt.
Huh.
The shirt that Chintu was wearing on that bus and singing that lovely song. A lot of others.
Those broad-collared
Yes,
of the 70s.
yeah. That's how it was.
The 70s fashion.
True.
So fashion was very important aspect, has played an important aspect in your life. You worked in stores. And tell me about all the people that you met when you were working there. Jackie Onassis walks into the store.
I helped her.
And Yoko Ono walks into the store.
Yoko Ono, she became such a good friend.
So tell me about these two
It's
incidents.
so bad that I didn't stay in touch.
Jackie
Onassis, I was working for what was the most beautiful Indian shop in America, called Sona, the golden one, under the handicrafts board, under Pupul Jayakar. And she had the most perfect manager, a lady called Mani Man, who became my mentor. And I had
Pupul Jayakar had a store in...
Pupul Jayakar was the head of the handicrafts, this whole culture.
Indira Gandhi's
but
associate and all.
That
came
in
later.
the 80s they did all the festivals, but this is 60s handicrafts emporium or khadi emporium. Under that, she came up with a brilliant idea to open a classy store on Fifth Avenue, just off Fifth Avenue, in a very good address, called Sona, the golden one. And she needed a fiery, manager like herself, which was Mani Man. Whoever never met her has missed something very special, because I learned so much from her, and then I found out she's the same birthday as me, a lot older. I just wanted to just embrace everything that she represented. So a girlfriend of mine was working there. She had very attractive Indian girls. We were just newly transferred from San Francisco to New York. I still had no children. I was still in wonderment of the world. And I would love going to this little India part. So she liked me. And sometimes she'd say, no, now we are busy. Now you're going to go do whatever you are doing. I'd go back home. I had nothing to do. So then Christmas and Diwali was coming close. She said, look, Bina, I think you're right fit, and I see that you've never worked like this before. But will you join us? I'll keep you here for 3 weeks of Diwali. If I like you, I'll keep you longer. So I said, sure. I'll give you very little. I said, don't give me salary. I just want to be. So she's whatever. She still gave me a little salary. And I learned, and it was very easy to learn. It was up my alley. But it was not just clothes. It was jewelry. It was handicrafts, fabrics by the yard. And all stuff that's beautiful from India. Rugs, daris, things I hadn't seen before, so such good quality. And very cool people came. One time there was a very elegantly dressed man who looked like the actor Cary Grant. And then suddenly she's there, she's looking after him, whatever he's looking at. And then she probably turns to someone, and the man just suddenly runs. And I see Mani running after him. Catch him, that very elegant Cary Grant, So she was so sharp. You can't help but love a woman like that. She went to chase him because he had stolen something.
Oh.
He was a shoplifter.
Oh, wow.
In the guise of a gentleman. Funny things like that.
And
so
Jackie?
One day, Jackie, it was the day before the world hears next day about her getting engaged to Onassis. None of us know.
Aristotle Onassis.
So that evening, from about 4 o'clock to 6 or so, we were closing the shop. She walks in. Apparently she had come there once or twice before I was there. So they knew her. Her hairdresser, Kenneth, used to be right across the road. So whenever she had to go to a hairdresser, they used to hope that
she'd come to Sona.
Money was very smart at these things. So she was getting yards and yards of fabric buying. She was buying silk fabrics, but yards of this and yards of another roll. and Bunny was thrilled. There's going to be big sales. Then suddenly she eyes a sari on a mannequin, and she says, "Now, isn't that lovely?" She was imagining all the wealth and all the money she can spend and decorate her home or whatever. And she probably figured it'd be nice to have me in the same mood as well. So and her voice is like a whisper, like a bird whispering, very classy. And then she looks in a shy way and speaks. I mean, I can't forget.
And next thing you get to know that she married Aristotle Onassis.
And then so she said, I'd love to tie a sari. Can you help me? So she was wearing a dress. I said, if you had a skirt, we could do it. But then we tie a thing around the waist and we put the sari on her. She loves it and she buys it. So
she bought a sari?
She bought the sari. Yes.
Okay.
So we told her that Money took charge of that and said how she would arrange it, pull measurements and things, whatever. I don't know what. I just did the bit of.
Oh, it's the age of no selfies. Otherwise, you would have a picture with Jackie.
I know, it's true. None of this existed.
And she was still Jackie Kennedy then.
She was still Jackie Kennedy. And then came the hot news the next day, and we thought, man, she could have bought the whole shop. She really did.
And Yoko, no?
So Yoko was more recent. This was the time when our place was running with Malini, was doing these things. That was a gallery I was running at the time in 1998 and in 1999. And this thing happened in 1999. So I had a gallery with a girlfriend where I had textiles, some of my antique clothes and shawls. And they'd been doing shawls had become now a new thing. People were learning to wear a shawl. It wasn't a culture in the West much. So her son, the son by John Lennon, young boy called Sean, walked in. So my partner recognized him. He was just a punk, a young boy with acid blonde hair, maybe in his early 20s. So she said, I think he's John Lennon's son. So then she spoke to him, aren't you Sean Lennon? And he said, yes. So she said, how can I help you? She said, I'm looking to buy a shawl for my mother, and she would love so many here. What do I do? So she convinced him to buy the one, and took our number. And can I take some home to show my mother? Now we knew mother's Yoko Ono, and then we were thinking, we hadn't said yes or no. And then he said, you know what? Buy this. Let us see the quality. And I know that. And then I get a call 2 days later from Yoko. Bina Ramani said yes. So she said, she also had a very soft, sweet-spoken accent.
And you connected with her, and there's this one incident where you're with her, and that...
In her kitchen.
In her kitchen.
She had a beautiful kitchen.
The day that, it was the anniversary of John.
Of his being shot, the 9th of December. Or 9th of December. 9th of October was his birthday. And she walked me around. She just didn't want to let me go. But one promise she took from me that when she went during the Beatlemania to India, and of all the places they went to, they loved Rishikesh. But when they went to Benares, something really got to her. She loved the energy. And she had to go along with the group as ever their plans were. So she couldn't, she knew she was missing something to touch her soul that was unfulfilled.
That she found there.
No, so she wanted me to take her because she didn't fulfill it the last time. She said, would you take me on a trip? I said, I'd love to. And I had made a jacket out of a shawl which I used to wear. She said, can I buy that off you? I'll give you anything you want from my closet. It's so sweet.
Okay.
Yeah, but I didn't do that.
I'm going through your entire friends list. It's like a who's who that you knew so many people. So I want to talk about this person called Pamela Bordes. Now, the younger generation would not know who Pamela Bordes is, and I seriously suggest you Google it because her life story is fascinating. So you knew her, and this was in the 1980s we are talking about, and people say that you introduced her to society in London. Pamela Singh.
New York,
Pamela.
New York it was. I was in New York.
Wasn't it in London?
No, New York.
New York. Okay.
You're not going to believe who called me to. I was running a Taj Group hotels from New York for public relations and sales and marketing, and so the Taj also had management contracts with the Lake Palace, Rambagh Palace, a lot of the royal
Rajasthan,
palaces.
yes.
So when any of them came to New York, I was like the go-to person in charge of everything. So I got the one who came the most often was Rajmata, Gayatri Devi.
Gayatri Devi.
She was very popular in New York.
Okay.
And Americans related through her to India. To them, India was a begging bowl of the world in those days. But Maharani, Gayatri Devi just lifted their heights of expectation of how one should live through this one individual, literally.
You know, we've only seen photographs of her. What was she like in real life? Was she as gorgeous as her photographs? Like, did she have that aura about her?
She had an aura that you got in the pictures. She had a tall personality in a very quiet way, but a very tall, imposing personality in a soft way. And you could see it in the face. You couldn't talk to her in a hurry when I was new. Later on, she'd hang out at my home and write letters, for postcards. She didn't want to pay for stamps, and I'd do it through office. Have pots of tea and things. But initially, she gave you a studied look and she assessed you how much is she going to dialogue time for you to spare. Are you worth knowing?
Was there a rivalry between her and Indira Gandhi? People talk about that.
Yes, I believe so. I even though I had a special relationship with Indira Gandhi, I never got into that part. I don't know how it was. No.
But there must have been, right? They were
I'm sure that she put her in jail, for sure. She was quite vain and haughty. We both were. I would say this one had confidence, that Rajmata. She was the diva and she knew how to play it. And there were many incidents I can't talk about that we played
her chiffon saris and her pearls.
And only one pearl, nothing. She'd never...
one pearl chain,
You know when she got mugged along with some rich ladies there on the street at night, and he took their furs, the two bandits, the Jews, bag and money in the bag and all. There were two ladies where she was staying with, and they'd come home after opera and whatnot. She's wearing a chiffon sari and this, and a shawl.
That's all.
That's it. So then they've looted from the night, and she said, I have this. This is from my husband. You touch it, you also shoot yourself. I'm not parting with it, you can kill me. And she did not come out of the car. They told her to come out, she did. And she said, this is all I have.
And they let it go.
They let it go. That's
so she
good news,
introduced
big news.
you?
Huh?
She introduced you to Pamela Bordes?
She calls me one day from Jaipur and says, she introduced me to two separate women in my time there in the 80s both. One was, so she had this girl, she rides horses and she sometimes trains, I mean, she's a young girl, she's become Miss India now. And she had found her way to it. She didn't deserve to be Miss India, in my opinion. She was young.
Pamela Singh at that time.
Pamela Singh at the time, I think it was, yes. And dusky, did not wear makeup. She had a certain natural look. And she was not that tall, maybe 5'4", 5'5". Didn't deserve to be Miss India, but there she was. She came as Miss India. And she said she's a bit wayward. She needs, I know her family. Please take care of her. I've given her your number. She'll call you. The Miss World is somewhere in South Africa or Peru or wherever. So
have some water.
Teach her the way. Teach her the ways of. She calls me.
Teach her the ways of the world.
Teach her the ways of the world.
Okay.
I learned a lot through the Taj Group. The ways of the world of,
how to use your crockery and cutlery and be the perfect hostess.
Yeah, and say the right things and when you enter a room, all of those things sort of thing. So I took her to 2 or 3 places. There was always something happening. I was now single and I had a great place. I was doing well. And I can't remember much. I didn't pay much attention to her, I tell you, to tell the truth. And she went off. But she was a bit smart, Chalu. I mean, she could find a way and chat with people and make friends. She didn't seem to need.
So when she moved into that MI6 crowd and she started doing,
Who's the MI6 crowd? I lost touch with her for.
She got into the intelligence community and she got into all kinds of unsavory activity. She was like the Mata Hari of the world.
But that was not in America. I was in New York.
Not in America. That was in the
London,
UK.
maybe.
Yeah. So she moved there and she
got into another world. I had no connect with her.
Okay. And another person who... so you said Maharani Gayatri Devi introduced you to 2 women?
Yeah, one was the other one, she called, who's still one of my closest friends, She called again. It was in the 80s. She said, "I am introducing you to Asha Bhatnagar. She's married to a major here in Jaipur, and he's got a kidney failure, and he's on dialysis, and we have kind of arranged for him to go abroad." And
Asha Puthli.
Asha Bhatnagar.
Bhatnagar.
Asha Puthli was another.
I was wondering
what a
who you
story.
took.
She's worth an interview with you. She's quite a number.
Okay, so let's do Asha Bhatnagar and then go to Asha Puthli.
Beautiful girl, South Indian girl, married to Bhatnagar Rajput, and he's in a wheelchair almost. And they would be in their maybe late 30s, 40s or so. And they were broke. The government wasn't helping them all that much. And she said, Rajmata says that, we have to raise money. I've just known fundraising thing from childhood since we were single. My parents taught us that's importance of social work. So, a long story short, from a university or hospital in New Jersey, I managed to get them 2 or 3 dialysis machines free. And now we needed to arrange passage to India. There was no money. And Rajmata told her, Bina will do it. Just leave it to her. I had never done such thing before. And I said to Asha, this is done. I can't believe she's saying this now. What do I do? But anyhow, there's always a way. Few calls and moved on. And then before we knew it, we had, I think, 4 dialysis machines brought to India.
Oh, people now would not know what it meant in those days.
No.
Not
at all. What? My God, it was impossible.
Impossible.
An impossibility.
There was just like 4 machines or something like that in India.
India. Then Asha, she was a great social worker and so active, and I learned a lot from her. There's so much to learn from everybody.
And then tell me about Asha Puthli.
I'll give you an idea of how I was brought up and what Asha. Here's a story. I was visiting India. It was my first trip in those where I'm introduced to Shammi Kapoor and all. And there had been this new train that had apparently come out Delhi to Bombay, deluxe train, air conditioned or whatnot, apparently. So I decided, why not do that to Bombay? In the planes, there was only one plane and you couldn't get. So my brother, who was visiting from London, is the pharmacist, about a lot older than me, 10, 12 years. And I, from Delhi to Bombay, we were going for whatever reason, I can't remember. And what does one do for 24 hours? You walk back and forth and you're looking at, whatever interesting, none and no interesting. But there's this 2-seater where it's under a blanket all the way through. In the night, yes, but even in the days, I'm wondering what's going on. Who could it be? Several walks here and there, and it's always like that. So it's maybe about 12 seats away from where we are. Go back and sit and read or something. And then suddenly, we are now maybe an hour away from Bombay. Or 2. And this girl comes up to me. And guess what she says? I've been walking up and down the train and looking for interesting faces, and yours is the only interesting face I So I asked her, I did that several times. Where were you sitting? I didn't see you. So she said, no, we were under the blanket. So my brother heard. He had also taken a walk.
She was already a celebrity. She was
unknown. She was nothing.
Unknown.
She was singing. She was an aspiring singer. Nothing. She was hoping to become a stewardess to go abroad. She hadn't even achieved that yet.
Okay.
She was living in Bandra. Came from a good family. Her father was a Saraswat Brahmin from south of farming and all that. Good, very fine man.
Yeah, her aunt was Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay.
Correct.
Narendranath Chattopadhyay, Kamla Devi Chattopadhyay.
Right, yes, all true. So she was classy with very boldly, fine English. She spoke and said, so I introduced her to my brother and she tells him, that's how she is, saying it all to the wrong man, the wrong things. Your sister is the most interesting person I've seen. I'd love to become a friend. Already he was thinking this fast-forward girl sitting under the blanket for 24 hours and he's got to keep her away from me. Now he has a mission. He's thinking, because that's how it used to be. I was that kind of sister, irrepressible, and I gave them all a hard time. I don't want them to be angry with me. They know, just long gone. So she left me her number. We are doing a jazz thing and my day after tomorrow. You must come. Then she left. But we chatted quite a bit. But I was ending it. I knew that I'll have to catch up with her later. I liked her. I decided I'd never met a girl like her. So then we are in Bombay, and he's kept his antenna as well to see what plans are, etc. And it stopped one way or the other. I don't get to go. I lose her.
Okay. Did you meet up later then?
No, then I forgot. I lost it. Then it was just a month or two before my marriage happened. Who knew how suddenly the stroke of whatever, 5 days and it's over. So I go now in San Francisco where I'm living. Lonely, miserable, awful. He's at work every day. I'm celibate. I don't know where I've landed, but I'm hoping. I've been brought up that way. I'm going to break this barrier. I will win. I'm trying not to cry. But I try and go wandering streets and a museum.
I just find it so difficult
for a new bride
to accept or to believe it, because I've seen your pictures. You're so gorgeous looking. You're so beautiful.
But
you have a suitor in Shammi Kapoor. You're with Raj Kapoor and all. And it never occurs to you that you're beautiful and you could make a career out of the...
I knew I was attractive. I knew I was beautiful. I was forced to go into this Miss whatever, I think. I mean, whatever. I don't like to talk about that, whatever. But it wasn't necessarily an encouraging thing at home. I made makeup and things.
So, okay. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your flow of thoughts.
So suddenly one day I get a call from Asha Puthli. It has now been maybe 6 months. Yeah? I found a little ground. I found my feet on the ground. And she says, you remember Asha Puthli? We met on the train and all that. And I say, yes. Well, how did you find me? She said, I'm here. I got the job with BOAC.
British Airways parent company.
Yeah. And it brought me to New York, but I just took some time off. I had to find you. Unbelievable that in that fear, what I was giving out, I made an impression on her that she decided she's going to find me. And I said, but I'm Bina Lalwani. You don't even know that I'm... She said, I asked around and somehow with great difficulty, I had to find you. So now I'm so used to being reprimanded by elders. I'm thinking now, how will I introduce her to Andy? I'm already beginning, before I see her, she's going to shock him and he's going to be, objecting that I have friends like this. Who knows? She's wild always,
Yeah.
Less wild than Pratima Bedi. They had the same streak.
Okay.
One had the intellectual thing. Pratima was very smart. But she was a goddess when she died. She was a goddess.
And she'd found her intellectual capacity and found it within her because she did Odissi dance and she found an Indian classical dance.
Yeah, absolutely. She was
here
driven.
Was
people were
Asha
touching her
Puthli.
feet in her last years. She's amazing.
And she set up Nrityagram.
Nrityagram has a spirit. Without her spirit, they worship. I mean, they all, each and every dancer there, new or old, is aware that this cannot be possible with her energy, and she visits.
And she passes away in a landslide in Mansarovar.
And guess what?
She knew she would.
She came in a little Maruti with the first tent that she had pitched in Nrityagram, the land, and she brought it and left it with George and me, and said, if I come back, we'll do my 50th birthday, and we do it in Benares, save this tent. It was with us for a long time. Then we never saw her again after. That was our last goodbye. That's how special she's in my life. Still, I feel visited as well, but it's a separate matter. So anyhow, so Asha then comes, and she's hugging me and kissing me, etc. I'm so happy to meet you. You have no idea that I just feel. And Andy's looking at me and wondering. Then he says to Andy, and I've never heard this word before that she uses. Listen to this. She says to Andy, please don't worry. I'm not a lesbian.
Okay.
I just love your wife. She's so nice. You got such a lovely wife. I only met her once on the train, and it's a world of another kind of a world is opening up. I've never heard anyone talk like this, etc. But then we go. He's at work. Next day, she stays with us, and she's walking on the street, and she's singing.
And it's magical.
It's magical, and Hate Ashbury has just happened, which is the hippie movement has just started in San Francisco. And there she's singing, and she has heard about it. She's off that world, So she took me there, and I see this. That was really my awakening. It's one of my awakenings.
There are many things in common in the sense that she interviewed Indira Gandhi. You interviewed Indira Gandhi too.
Yes.
Tell me about your interaction with Indira Gandhi, your meeting, the jewellery story. Tell me about that.
So I used to make jewellery a lot more before I got into fashion. And I strung. And the turbulent days, that I went through with I just took to beads. I met somebody who started to make beads and says, very good for your, which I did. When the custody battles were very difficult for me.
So you're talking about the 1970s?
No, early 80s.
Early 80s. Okay.
The festivals of India were just happening.
Okay.
And the first one was in London.
Huh.
And then in London, the concert, Indira Gandhi.
It was Rajiv.
It was Rajiv Sethi.
Rajiv Sethi.
It was Martan Singh.
Yeah,
they were
Martan
the two,
Singh.
Kings of culture at the time. And Pupul Jayakar had
curated it all.
Yes. So it was at the Royal Festival Hall where Zubin Mehta and Ravi Shankar were doing a concert together. Zubin was a very good friend of mine at the time. And there was Princess Diane, Maggie Thatcher, and Indira Gandhi were the three special guests. So my family, so they had all the wealthy Indian important families to sponsor this. So my family had sponsored one part of it, which gave me entry. So my brother and I are there. Maybe with the two of my brothers there. Anyhow, whatever the case. So those who had donated that amount get to meet privately in the rear. And at that time, that was the day when Princess Diane had to leave because she was very pregnant and she got the call. So now it's either Maggie Thatcher or Indira Gandhi. So I went for the Indira Gandhi. Now, I'm wearing a particular sari to match the necklace that I had recently made, which was a bunch of about maybe 30 garnets, loose at the bottom, attached to a big pendant of two peacocks with a hole in it. The two peacocks are held together. And then I would wrap this big thing. I had a long neck, and then I would bring out that cascading thing here. So it was very dramatic. And so as I approached closer, we are in a line, and pleasure to meet her and so on. And her eyes are on my neck. She's saying, "Are you part of the festival?" So the festival, under Pupul Jayakar, had tied up with a whole bunch of stores there with other designers of India. They didn't know me. So
she looks at your jewelry and
she said, "What's your name?" I said, "Bina Ramani." "Oh, she's Bina Lalwani." Why? They had studied those 20 families or whatever they were. So Miss Lalwani, she had R.K. Dhawan, I think, standing next to her. So she said, "What do you do?" I said, "I design jewelry. Did you do this?" And I said, "Yes." "That's very beautiful. I've never seen any garnets ever look like this." And so why aren't you here? I said, "I wasn't invited to be." "So do you have jewelry with you?" And I'm saying, "Can you believe me? This is the subject." So then I'm saying, "I do, but I'm leaving for New York tomorrow morning because I have samples. I sell them there." So she says can you, whatever, she asks him, "Can we fit her into an appointment? What time are you leaving?" All of this. I was to go to the airport at 1 o'clock. She manages to get me to change plans, and she invites me to the Claridge's hotel. And he's telling her, "No, ma'am, we have your book is being launched, and BBC is coming at 9:30. So we'll delay them. She'll just come for a short while." He said, "Thank you, really appreciate this. You'll come in the morning?" I said, "I will. It's such a pleasure." I know that.
So she wanted to gift one of the pieces to Sonia Gandhi?
No, not then.
That was later?
Then she called me to her home when I came back to India. And I brought something for Sonia Gandhi myself. And then she tried to call. It was afternoon. And I guess she was napping or sleeping, and she wouldn't pick up the phone. I loved it when she said, "These servants." I said, "This is like us householders. You have the same servant problem?" She said, "Yes. She's sleeping probably, and they're also sleeping. They should be answering the phone just now."
So they didn't come. She's the Prime Minister.
I know.
And nobody's listening to her.
Cameramen and other people. And then so she's calling on the inside, whatever. She wasn't there.
So she picks up some piece from you, right? And
she picked 2-3 pieces. I loved it. She wanted to insist on paying. I said, "Please give me this pleasure. They don't cost much at all." So she said to me, "I've seen your jewelry." Now she saw it. She saw it once in her hotel room. And she took 2 or 3, and she was there like a little girl. This is what happened. She was like any of us trying on a new piece of thing when we want to wear somewhere. And we're asking girlfriends, "What do you think of this or the other?" So she goes to the mirror in the big, huge drawing room of the Claridge suite and looks at it. "How does this look?" It's an amethyst piece. I said, "Very nice on you." Then she has picked another one, so she's trying that too. I said, gosh, they both look so good on you. I think, you're made for of a semi-precious jewelry. She said, I only wear semi-precious. What I love the most is amber, but you don't have amber. Amber is the color you're wearing right now.
Yeah. But I've seen her wearing a necklace of amber.
She loves amber, but I didn't have.
Ah, okay.
That she chose that. Then I go back to Delhi. So anyhow, then Pupul comes over and she says to her, what do you think of these necklaces? Pupul did not like me for some reason.
Huh.
She had seen me the night before. I don't know why she didn't take me. Also, she didn't like that Madam has made her own choice of seeing a designer directly. I'm guessing. It was ego things. I'm guessing. I don't know. But she was
wanted to be
hostile.
the gatekeeper.
Yeah. So she said, right, I don't know, but take it. And then she left the room. She just didn't want to be there.
That amber, the picture of Indira Gandhi in that amber necklace, was that bought by you? I mean,
From me? I don't know. Show me a picture. I'll identify it if I recognize
because I've seen
it.
Sonia Gandhi also wear that amber
I'll have to see it.
necklace. Strange because it's not amber is not something that everybody buys.
No.
I have a piece, but I feel a little.
She said, I love amber. It soothes me.
Somebody must have recommended it.
Probably.
Okay, tell me, there's also in your book this thing, encounter, or should I say, or presence of Chandraswami in your life. That was before all the unsavory part
That was
happened.
70s.
Yeah.
That was 70s when Andy had now become in charge of all the India business in America, not tourists, but Indian. And at that time, it was a big promotion for him. So he got a call one evening. Both my kids had pneumonia. They were sick. It was cold, winter time. And I had a nanny at the time. And he calls me from the office, maybe at lunchtime, that there's a Swami that's coming from India. The message has come from Sanjay Gandhi's office that she's a spiritual ambassador of India is coming as, and 2 or 3 of them with him. So we have to have dinner. We have to cook dinner at home because first evening I'm supposed to give him home cooked food, and then I have to find him a place to stay. So I thought, oh God! And guess what? He eats only without
onion,
junk
garlic.
food. Yeah. I thought, gosh. And then that morning, the maid had gone to church and run away with a boyfriend. We lost the church. The
Rosie.
Yeah, Rosie. Who my
I've
parents.
read your book,
My God,
Inside
yes,
Out.
Rosie, what a sweet girl she was. She joins us years later.
And you asked Chandraswami, where is Rosie?
And he said she will come Badmash.
Of all things to ask Chandraswami. Okay.
But guess what? He used to claim to be able to, he would do things like that.
Clairvoyant,
He would answer everything. But he would make you, I don't know what he used to do. Anyhow, so he comes home that day and the children are really in bed and really red and then he makes them do this home, shrim, green, baram. They are fascinated with him. He wins them over and he makes them repeat it 2-3 times and they feel better the next day. They just do. So they attribute it to this. And I think about Rosie, he said, but I can't remember what he said. However, he then got endeared to us and he found him one of those home management apartment where he and his 2-3 cronies, younger, whatever, helping boys. And next thing, he got after, now it was my duty to pull in all the Indian diaspora, the wealthy business people, for him to whatever, do what he was good at, which was?
Networking.
Networking was his main thing, but he partly that. From India, we are going to make them rich. They're going to be, but India, no one had faith in those days. Besides, he was when he could read, he was psychic. So he said, "Karamat karke dikhaunga unko." Hindi
So this
actually I learned
Adnan
from him.
Khashoggi that...
So that was much later when he had duped a lot of people, including me.
He duped you?
Yes.
What did he do?
Yes.
Funds?
Yeah, on the basis of that is how he went to jail. So I'll tell you what it was. He now became, Rakhi also would be going to him. He had now become he had grown, left and stopped seeing him now. He had become independent, nothing to do with Air India anymore. So once in a while he would phone, Aake dekho kitna, we are blessings of so many rich people, Americans all are coming and I'm learning English now and all that. So once in a while we would drop in, Andy and I, just to... But that was it. And at the time, he had said, listen, I am now becoming very rich because the governments, he had gone to Suriname, which was a Hindu government one time, and they were Dutch colony, so there's something. So whenever he just knew, I guess, antenna, where Indians, old thinkers of India, could be duped by a modern sadhu or whatever. And he knew his agenda. And I was not much in touch with him, just the occasional call he would make. Suddenly he calls me one day several times from Suriname. And he says, यहाँ की जो हिंदू गवर्नमेंट है वो हम बना रहे हैं जो यहाँ के हैं हम इनको गिरा रहे हैं कुछ हो रहा है हम गम कर रहे हैं.
He was toppling governments.
Yes, that he was going to get them into power, but on the basis of he would have to. There's a lot of money they wanted to give him, but he was an Indian passport holder. He couldn't have money. Could he put it in my account? I was then running Binatone. I was making microwave ovens for UK and Europe. So there was no, and my family is extremely narrow and straight, and not 1 rupee here or there, a dollar. So I said, no, you can't use my account at all. Even I can't. I get a salary from this, and that's. But it's illegal. I have to pay tax on whatever. So no, not at all. Please, I cannot trust of all the people I met. You're the only straightforward, honest persons, and I can't tell Andy I want you to do this. And knowing I could be duped, I wasn't that smart, and still I'm not many things. So I asked the bank manager, when the money comes in, does it get it gets recorded that so much came in, even if it is going out in 2-3 days? He said no, up to 5 days. You put in on Monday, by the Friday it has to be removed. It gets recorded literally as end of the week starts. So after many calls, I said, well, this is all I can do. You have to guarantee me that the day you put it in, you will remove it, or you will give me the authority to remove it. And you send somebody or whatever. I don't want anything to do with it. So he did
London
that.
account.
Huh?
Is it
So
a
he
London
put in
account?
No, New York. This is all New York.
New York. Okay.
I gave up London before marriage.
No, Binatone was in.
Binatone was London, but they are now. They were now
in New York.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'd quit the Taj. I was getting bored actually by now. It was all doing so well.
So he put the money in your account, and he promised.
$250,000 he put in. It's on record. All this is all on record. Government of India record even it is now.
And with the.
So then what he did, he sent some Agarwal fellow to pick up 100. He left 100,000 there. He took the rest. And that 100,000, some lady, I think he must have, Marina something, came and took 50,000. Now there was 50,000 left. I said, I get rid of it. He said, you put it somewhere where you want to invest. I said, I don't need to. My cousin was a builder, still to this day. He had bought a building in Fifth Avenue very cheap. So my brother from London had invested. He was a big follower of my cousin. So he had invested in. So I told him, this is the only place I can put it. It will not be in my name. It will be in his name or whatever. He said, fine. So I was clean. But over there, every sign, on the back, you have to write what it's for.
But this is money laundering.
It was money laundering, I suppose. We didn't know the word.
For toppling a government.
He must have taken tons more. That wouldn't have done it. I don't know. He just put this here.
But you didn't realize that.
Not at all. नहीं, he said, हिंदू धर्म के लिए दे रहे हैं, ये सब इंडिया में यूज़ होगा, बहुत ही फ़ायदा होगा, और इनको निकालने हैं पैसे, नहीं तो वहाँ के वो लोग उनको और भी बहुत निकालने हैं, मदद दे रहे हो, like that he's trying to tell. How would I think?
You're very naive, aren't you?
I am totally naive. But I did do the honest thing. I had it removed.
No, that's your. The step you're taking is innocent.
Yeah.
But the stuff that you're doing was
not
against the law.
Apparently. So now listen. So listen. I then write to him a letter, every detail. The money you sent, made 5 checks or whatever it was, with the detail of everything, and baki this much remains in that investment in the property. And money has nothing to do with
And
me.
Adnan Khashoggi?
No, so Adnan Khashoggi had become now part of his, I don't know, so I'm just going to tell you.
It was his circle.
Later, yeah. So then what happens, the later circle, that money, those letters he collects. And always, by habit, we were taught, I didn't know this, aapke bahut pranam hai. In the English I would write. And then all the letters are like that, like I'm revering somebody.
So you kept some of the stuff, the letters and all the
No,
correspondence.
those letters I gave him.
Huh.
He kept it in a safe, and when he got busted, those letters were the witness account that put him in jail.
Okay.
Isn't that amazing?
You have had your run-ins with powerful people, haven't you?
But the most incredible thing is that here I'm the witness, helping a government wanted man into jail. He's got Mukund Rohatgi, who I'm
Mukul Rohatgi.
Mukul, the top lawyer of the country, one of the tops, who's representing him. I have just been released from Tihar jail for standing
Jessica.
a witness that they didn't want around. Right?
And now this comes up.
Now I'm being witness for a criminal of the country. Suddenly it is the most important thing to be a criminal, to be a witness for. Isn't it ironic, the roles I am in? Just look at what the universe is putting me through. It was ironic completely.
And now
It
you're
was
the
less
star
than 2 months
witness.
away.
A witness that they want.
Yeah, so what had happened now in the meanwhile, when they came after him, also FBI came after him. And my name, so they asked him, no, the Suriname people went after him for the money. So they told those Suriname people, you made the check to Bina Ramani, go after her.
Oh gosh.
That had happened. That had happened maybe in the 90s. I don't remember.
Your friendships do get
I was
you
living
into-
in Delhi, I know. So what happens is, and then he gives an address of Delhi, Rani Jethmalani's home. I used to stay with her initially when I wasn't quite living in Delhi, in India. And another friend I used to live with in Old Delhi, where I used to go to see my children in Sanar from there. These two friends. And the Nandas, Rajan and Ritu Nanda.
Raj Kapoor's sister and
somebody,
married to. Okay.
all three of them get a letter from FBI, reference Bina Ramani. Terrible thing to receive. All three of them, I get a call from within 2 or 3 days of each other. And then, luckily, I bring it to Ram Jethmalani, all the letters. I said, what does one do? He said, when FBI makes a case, to be able to even hear it, to go and answer, you have to go answer. You have to put $10,000 down. I said, will you represent me? He said, it cost you $10,000, and it is the law. It was the law. I had to put down $10,000 to be heard. These
How
Suriname
odd.
people had called, yeah. So now I was furious that this bugger, he has duped us in the name of a spiritual role from Indira Gandhi's country, and that's how he started and how he's gone into all of this. And poor politicians, and now they're on my back. But I was so clear that they knew that I'm innocent in it. I've just been trapped into it, and always felt there was an end of the tunnel open for me. So here I go there. Those 10,000 now I put in hard earned. Then I hear that he is hanging out with Adnan Khashoggi and this and that in Khashoggi's building, Olympic Towers, right? And I learn about where he is, and I just land up there one day. I know he will not want me there because he knows that he sent all these letters. He's dumped me. So I go there, and he's in the inside room, and there are a lot of people waiting outside, including that Marina lady who had come to collect
$50,000.
Yeah, some earlier. That was maybe a year earlier.
In New York.
Yeah. A lot of other people are there. I mean, now, I remember when Andy got him a little 4 years later, he is now this. So I go to the room, he said, Kaisi? I said, मैं ठीक हूँ. I wasn't sitting. I was just standing. नहीं, he's बैठो. So I sat. And तू पगली, तू $10,000 लेने आई है? तू मेरे से $1,00,000 मांगो, मैं वो देता हूँ तेरे को. तू कभी नहीं अमीर बनेगी, तू कभी नहीं जानता हूँ तेरे को. So कोई बात नहीं, मुझे 10 ही चाहिए जो मेरी जेब से गए हैं, मुझे वो वापस करो. As I'm doing this, a man walks in, is Adnan Khashoggi. So now I had tears. I was red and angry that how dare he gives me. It's an abusive response. Take 100,000. You're so cheap. You want only 10. I mean that kind of. Really, I am inside. I'm just shaken. How dare he talk to me like this? Like that. So he sees me, and he's saying, obviously, they've had girls between them or something. So he looked at me and he said to him like that. So I said, I'm his sister. And then I said, कब मिलेगा? He said, यहाँ कितने दिनों में? मैंने कहा, आपको पता है मेरा घर यहाँ से काफ़ी नज़दीक है. आप अपने लड़के के हाथ मुझे भेज देना. कब भेजोगे? आज शाम को? I said, हाँ. Never heard from him again. That was years later till I see him in jail in 2006 or whatever. And he looking at me like he's wanting me dead with all this power. He's staring because they had dug out the witness account was also letters I had written to him and the detail of this what I just gave you. It was on the basis of that he finally went to jail and then he died after. So that was exactly the extent of my role.
And you never met Adnan Khashoggi after that day?
No, this is the only time I just saw him for
You saw him?
I was never...
You knew who
he gave me a look, the kind of... But no, I mean, no, I never... I would read about him and Liz Taylor and things like that. But I had, but
you were done with that
disregard.
life.
I did not like anything about that world.
Okay. As we wind up, I need to ask you about this.
Adnan Khashoggi is not the type who would be part of my... I would never be in that. I had people of dignity and clean.
But he did move in those circles, in the same circles, the concentric circles that you were
lived
moving.
Their kind of life.
Yeah.
I did not live that kind of life.
Okay. Tell me about it's said that you introduced Rekha to Mukesh Agarwal.
Yes, I did.
Did that happen?
Yes, it did.
It did. Tell me about that. Was she
She was a very good friend. She was a very good friend. She's very childlike. She's pure. She's pure. If she's made silly moves in her life, it's out of an innocence. She's also trapped from her childhood. We all are trapped in our upbringing.
Yeah, you've written about it, yours.
So she was trapped, I think, but I don't know all that detail. She was between the role of the mother and father. She must have craved and couldn't get enough. And then at a very young age, I think maybe 13 or 14, 15, she had to start working. She didn't really enjoy the childhood. Those early sort of pubescent.
And her father didn't acknowledge her presence.
Apparently,
because she was born of the wedlock.
Exactly. So, and he was a powerful, famous man on whim. When he was good to her, I mean, he was God. But I think there wasn't much of that. But now her whole life was encased in Amitabh Bachchan. By now, I'm talking about when I meet her.
And she was totally in love with him.
Yes.
And
she belongs to him in her soul.
In spirit.
Yes.
Okay.
And she believes he belongs to her in spirit. They have a communication.
Okay.
Things happen. These things can happen. I believe in those things.
Then why did she get married? You introduced her?
No. So here's what happened. He had joined politics. She had come to visit me in New York. And then she just stayed. She didn't. She was going through a hard time because he had now become a public person, and we probably may have said that to her. There was no chance of him ever, whatever. Their alliance must have had to drift publicly no more. And she was keen to marry someone good and important, and there was talk about her marrying my brother Gulu.
Okay.
And he had a bit of a playboy reputation at the time, and so on. He lived life very big. He was very close to the Kapoors. They were very fond of him still. So, anyhow, so it didn't fit. So she continued to stay with me. Again, this was about 5 weeks it stayed. We had a very cute apartment, a triplex, and we did have some amazing times there together. Lovely. Introduced her to a few of my very close friends that she became very close to and fond of. She became a real regular person. She'd go for walks in Manhattan lanes, and some of these Afghani fruit vendors would recognize her, Bangladeshi, some of them. She'd always walk home early. She was very disciplined, woke up early.
But she wanted to get married and move on in life.
She was very keen to have a relationship and marry. Yes,
How did you know Mukesh Agarwal?
No, so here's what amazing. So when I was now in Delhi, it was 80s, obviously, or early 90s, I think it was, 91, 92. Had a nice apartment in Niti Bagh where I lived. And she came to spend I'll come over. Bina, I have to meet some really good, decent Indian man. And I only men I meet are the hairdresser, the electrician, etc. And I can't be going out and all that. So Delhi is the right place. I'll come. So a day she picked, and mine was some of the married couples, and in a Delhi, Punjabi. Really, I did tell her there are no bachelor types in Delhi that I would recommend, but I just wanted to be with her. We had fun, and so she came, and sure enough, they were oogle-eyed. They don't know how to. So as
This
fine
starstruck.
as they were,
Delhi
you can't
was
help.
like starstruck, right? It's
Exactly.
not Bombay.
Yes,
it's not
totally.
Mumbai.
Yes.
There are film actors. I mean, she's Rekha.
Exactly.
Huh. So he was one of
So-
the persons who came?
No. So I had my few girlfriends as well, right? So she got to know a girlfriend called Kamna. Kamna was very, very ethnic.
Kamna Prasad.
Prasad, yes.
Huh.
I always liked her ethnic ways. I was too Western in those days. And she also happened to be my neighbor. She still lives near there somewhere. So chatted, etc. But she's whispering to me, I cannot stand this. I'm going to your children's. And she had met Malini and Gitu. So she disappeared quietly. She said, don't say anything. I'm going to disappear. And I said, okay, fine. And then later on, she told me, my God, you get out of Delhi. This is no place to be. I was single too. Anyhow, that evening, or was it next day maybe? And I think she was staying in a hotel. She wasn't staying at my home. Kamna tells me, shall I tell you? Maybe she tells me this the next day. There's this person called Mukesh. And he is the most die-hard, ardent fan of Rekha's. He can recite any dialogue from any movie. I mean, he knows her entire life. And maybe she needs a man like that who worships her. So I said, gosh, but what does he look like? So she says, look, she had invited me to some Qawwali thing at the Taj. So I went there, and did she call him there? Maybe that's how I met him first time, perhaps. And he's non-descriptive.
Yeah. He
In
was
fact,
nothing to look at.
nothing much. And he was short, and he was dark. And when you got to talking and engaging, he was very nice, charming.
Okay.
But he could pass you by 6 times, you will not recognize him. 7 times.
And here's this diva. What did she find in him?
So listen. So that evening, it was that evening I met him, and we get talking, and he said, and with such sincerity in his eyes, he's telling me, if only I could just speak to her, if there's really going to be a possibility that I could meet her someday, you have no idea what it would mean. You have no idea what you would have achieved. She'd be the happiest person on earth, and so on. So I said, well, okay. And I think I introduced them on the phone, I think. She doesn't even know what he looks like yet. See, I'm a little vague about that, the exact chronology.
Okay.
So she speaks with him, and yes, she speaks with him that day. And then 2 minutes or 3, and then she says, give me his number, don't give him mine. So she takes his number. And then she calls him. I don't know if that's the day she calls him, that night or the night after, but soon enough.
And they meet.
He calls. No, they don't meet. They are in Bombay and Delhi. And then he calls me. He's over the moon. He cannot believe this has happened to him. And then they have exchanged pictures. And then she calls me and she says, can you see him standing next to me? I mean, there's Amitabh Bachchan, and she's a vision. So I'm saying, no, not really. But he seems like a nice man. But I mean, this is in your hands. You decide. I don't want to take any decision for you. But she seems to like. She realizes what feels good for her at the time from the heartbreak that she's in. Perhaps I'm making.
And probably she wants that obsessive love.
I think that's what
The
it
kind
was.
of
To cover
obsessive
up
love
to
that
the
she
pain.
had.
Yes, possibly. That's true. So, within 2 months, they are passionate on the phone with each other, and now she wants to meet him, and is going to be in Bombay. So, and She lives in Bandra. She cannot be seen publicly. And, and she has a friend called Dipti. Dipti, the actress Naval. Dipti Naval is very close to her. She trusts. I also know her from New York. And so, first time I think they meet is in a friend of mine. I have a friend, a male bachelor who died later. He's like a brother too. He has all our friends are sisters. He's generous and got a big place and you can go stay there. So, in his home, he's not there, I'm not there, Dipti's not there.
Just Rekha and Mukesh
they
Agarwal.
talk, yeah, they talk. That's the first time they meet. And then that's when they would decide whether. So they seem to be happy. They've spoken so much already. I guess they know quite a lot about each other. So maybe it didn't take that long. And then from there on, I step out of the picture. Dipti sort of now, because I had to get back to Delhi. Secondly, and Dipti has a right equation. But then I think, I don't know whether Dipti learns about this from them or not. Suddenly we read in the paper or the TV that they got married.
Were you surprised?
Very. In shock. Yeah, very.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to be so soon. I expected certain more conversations between us, But
and then suddenly you hear about that awful incident where he's committed suicide.
I know.
Were you...
Well, I think that in due course, with Rekha's life being Bombay, it was a part fantasy, wishing for the best. But imagining her life was deeply into Bombay life.
There was no way she could have adjusted to Delhi and suburbia.
Again, and she must have come a few times, I'm sure. I was no longer in touch. I just let it grow their own way.
Did you meet her after that ever?
Yes, few times.
You did?
Yeah.
Did she talk to you?
Loving, hugging. Yeah, loving.
Okay.
Totally. I mean, it comes gushing out. At least 7-8 times.
So many people of that vintage. There was also Parmeshwar Godrej.
She was so
and
nice.
Rukhsana Sultana.
Yes, her too.
These really strong women who are your friends.
All of them have come through to my life somehow or the other. She landed up when I was with the Sobha Singhs who were like my godparents.
Rukhsana Sultana.
Yeah,
that's Amrita Singh's mother.
Correct.
And
Amrita was a little baby.
Sara Ali Khan's grandmother.
Correct.
Okay. And that comes through Sir Sobha Singh. And
she was married to their grandson. And they wanted to find me there. But through them is how David Faridkot had come.
Yeah, you went to Solan. All that happens. And Parmeshwar Godrej?
Parmeshwar was Bombay with Farida Khan.
With Farida, you meet with her.
And she was wearing a white churidar kameez, long gut, sitting outside what was a shack at the time of Adi Godrej's. And a few little Bombay. I loved all the Bombay young people of our age. And I didn't know most of them. But early on, from the beginning with Farida, is when she took me to Parmeshwar's. We hit it off and there was a resemblance of something we saw in each other as well. And I loved that she would sit and eat with her hands, etc.
And here she threw the most gorgeous parties,
most sophisticated. She taught the world a lot. Yes, she did. Amazing.
And what was Rukhsana Sultana like? What was the great love of her life?
She never talked about any love of her life as such.
No, in the sense that what got her going in life?
She was power. Maybe. I didn't live in India those days.
She was in that clique of Sanjay Gandhi.
Yeah, I was not part. I was in London growing up. I didn't understand any of that. But you could see that she had a lot of power, and it was scary. It was not the kind of power that.
Have you met Sanjay Gandhi ever? No.
I met
Rajiv Gandhi. Yeah. When you went to interview
at another time.
Okay.
He had met my brother Gulu and I invited them all to come and do electronic. He was promoting the electronic industry in India. So that's how we got Binatone in India. Okay. It was his doing so.
Okay. I'm going to conclude the interview. And as I conclude, I just have a last question about Malabar Secrets. You've been working on that. Tell me a little bit as we conclude.
Love to. Look, you got me all excited. Well,
I had to. Your life it's such a it's such a vast scope.
I know.
Even now, I have stuff which I would want to talk to about, but I guess we've talked a lot, and I have to let you go. But before that, I want to, of course, talk about your fight with cancer, how you came out of that, and that also, and then you finding Malabar Secrets.
Malabar Secrets actually came about with no plan. I had no vision, no intention, no knowledge. But I knew that one thing that I did know is that spices are good for health. I never understood exactly whatever. And then I had a fall, and I had fractured my knee. I had to be in a wheelchair, and I had chosen to go to one of those spas for the week in Vizag called Pema. Very nice place. It had just newly opened, and but I was limited to how much I could do. During yoga class, I would sit on the wheelchair and do arms. But there's a bookshelf. It's in the library there, and there's a book staring at me saying, "The Yoga of Spices." Now, I had a tryst with cancer years earlier, from which I had recovered. But I always knew that, life ahead, why not learn about it? So I was just browsing through it. I was amazed. It just got me. I asked if I could borrow that book, and I kept it. And then I just landed in Karnataka on a particular reason. My sister lived in Bangalore, but I managed, somehow I landed up in Karnataka in those fields. Yeah, some visitor from America, an Indian, would move back to India, had come to stay with me at Devighar at my Airbnb, and she did a whole research on me. She had come with money back to India, and she learned that Bina, wherever she touches, property grows, because it had happened so in Goa, and then there was in Delhi, all this. So she said, look, I have a fantastic property in Karnataka, which is 100 acres, and I'd be willing to give you 30% of it free if you develop some idea like you've done here in Hauz village, and so on. I said, well, in the fields there could be no Hauz village idea, and Hauz is because of its whole history. Anyhow, I'm fascinated. I love Bangalore. I go there often because of my sister. I go land up there, along with my best friend's daughter, Vibha Huda, who is genius in understanding these things. And we realize it's not possible to get into this. But I am fascinated with all the spices growing and the black peppers and the beauty and the fragrance, and I know that something has to be done. And there's a river running on that property, and we're filling empty bottles of Bisleri water and drinking from that, taking it home. We go a few times. Anyhow, I know that people are not drinking enough water. This I knew from my cancer. Dehydration is the big problem in bringing most diseases, but cancer is one of them. So, and it's so boring. But if we could spice water and drink it and also make cocktails, so even that way spices are doing you good while you're having poison of whiskey or whatever. So I got bent on it, and my sister in Bangalore said, I know someone who makes it. And cut a long story short, I find this heaven of this place where they are distilling all kinds of spices into liquids, powders, whatever. And Vibha, I have to mention her name because she is such a genius. She's younger than my daughter. She says, Auntie, why don't we discover where the spices are grown and how it gets distilled? Let's go learn about that too. So we go to Kerala. I'm not doing nothing much. And we learn how the British had done these mills, burning tons and tons of different spices, and how they go up into steam and then they become liquid, and they are... I know a lot about it. I read a whole lot more books and spoke to Ayurveda experts. And I now had got totally, this is it, passion like I've had for my fashion or jewelry or doing South or whatever, Kutub Culinary, whatever. I was, in fact, more passionate because I was doing such a amazing thing with a guaranteed future. So then I created day and night, started a company, invested my own money, put a team together, all of them passionate. Nobody understood what... I had no picture forward to create. So stumbled along the way and built a reputation, built a product so pure, people who had it. I was too ahead of my time, which I always have been somehow. It opened in 2016. It needed a post-COVID type of time when people had more respect for health and understanding how precarious health is and the future of every human being.
So you think you're going to revive that again?
I am in the process of reviving it. I think it would do India a world of good. Personally, I think it could be India's best product because that's a heritage of thousands of years. Why would America and so many other countries why would America exist? They were coming to India to look for spices. And we are now I'm delivering them in the most delicious chocolates, little, and have to make the chocolates little because those spices are
burst of flavor.
Oh my God, they are just bursting with amazing flavor that dance in your palate. And
I love it that you love to reinvent yourself. I guess
I think this will be my last one.
new avatar every time.
That's a new avatar like that. True.
I wish you all the best, a lot of success, and
Thank
it's
you.
been an absolute amazing
Thank
experience
you.
talking to you.
I have to say one last thing, which I'm as an avatar.
Absolutely.
You're thinking. I've just come from Rishikesh and Dehradun, where I spent time, but my daughter Malini is pretty much settled there and doing course after course with great masters and learning the higher states of yoga meditation. And every time I see her, I just swell with pride, and I am just grateful to God for giving her this path. And now when I used to hear her talk about it, I see her following of the people that she teaches yoga to. They want to, down to tears, they have felt an awakening of their own internal journey. But now seeing her this time in Rishikesh and how everybody knows her in Rishikesh, and I'm thinking, wow, this, I feel like I want to, I don't want to say steal this incredible power, but she's just giving it, so
You had that
generously. I love
experience
that.
once, a tryst with spirituality
I
when
did,
you went to
with Devi.
Rajneesh.
Not
Ashram.
Rajneesh. No, not
Pune?
Rajneesh. Gurumai.
Guru.
Baba Muktananda's lineage.
Ah, okay.
I had an amazing experience. Yeah, amazing.
The
So with
maroon
that as well-
robes pictures that we have seen of you and Malini, wasn't that at Rajneesh Ashram?
No. The Marooners, Malini, and those were at Rajneesh long ago. Yes.
Yes.
I don't know where you saw them.
I've seen them somewhere.
That's an amazing thing. This is something to hear. Listen, we were living in Delhi in the horrible shadow of poison arrows being thrown at us. She wiped the blood. Jessica Lal died. And our name, and we couldn't go out anywhere. It was an awful battery. I mean, I told you I was living in terror in those days, that period. And just to get Malini out of the room to tell her there's another world, I decided to go to Guru Mai's ashram.
Rajneesh Ashram.
Rajneesh Ashram. I took a chance. I had been there as a tourist visitor and I loved what I had seen. And she luckily agreed, very reluctantly, and we arrived there. I just somehow felt that we will get some relief. I didn't know what. But here's the amazing thing, where my respect for the ideologies of Rajneesh's philosophies is just zooms to the top. We know we are suffering from identity. I was Bina Ramani. She was Malini Ramani. We were the Ramanis. It was a bad word because we witnessed it day and night from strangers from everywhere. If I could tell you, the best forgotten. So we arrive here. Before you even enter the center of the place, you're taken to an area. You have to remove everything. Or you have to first go to this under the tented area where there are every shape and size of maroon robes. And some of those shapes are beautiful kaftans. And they say you have to buy the two at least. How long do you want to spend? We said about a week. So we just pick up two each, very cheap and really good, well made and all that. And then we are given a locker box where you take off everything that you own. So you come out of there, maroon. And then as you enter and go further, you see an ocean of maroon, Japanese, Chinese, short, tall, black, orange, every type of human being you can imagine. We are in the ocean of humanity now. And we are all humans and we are all one. It's our soul then connects. There is no background, no nothing. Who do you belong to? Where did you come from? What have you done in your life?
So that identity is shown.
It's incredible.
So you're shown off every...
we found ourselves luckily and we are laughing and smiling and we're saying, I had to experience that or I would have never made it. For my daughter's sake as well.
Do you want that again with that Rishikesh experience, which
No,
Malini
nothing is
seems to have
repeat. You
found it?
have to find. I
New
want to
experience.
feel that feeling of a perfect position. I got in the perfect place in the world. There are other many perfect places
Okay.
in higher worlds. Malini, when she's just ended a extremely severe course of, she said, 30 days of this, like the Harvard degree of yoga meditation. She's the third day of that being inducted there, she calls me and says, "Mummy, everything we've been taught about yoga and meditation is all fake. It is nothing. What subjects we have opened up on, it's unbelievable." And she's a transformed person by the 30 days. That's when I went there. So it was just 5 days ago. And my God, so I asked her, and there was another friend who'd come from there as well. I said, "Give me a rating out of 100. How much would you give this course?" You know, both of them said, 1,000.
Oh, wow.
It was 1,000%. Can't have enough of it. It's amazing. So you see how much I have to look forward to. That's what
New
I
experiences.
Malabar secrets, but there's a whole lot more.
Whole lot more.
Yeah.
Wishing you all the best. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for this conversation.
Thank you very much
Thanks.
for bringing it out in me.
Thank you for watching or listening to this edition of the ANI podcast with Smita Prakash. Do like or subscribe on whichever channel you've seen this or heard this. Namaste. Jai Hind. Click here to watch the previous episodes.